You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amber TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned. You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amber TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned. You're watching the People's Television, ABC Amber TV, the voice of Ambazonia. Stay tuned.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Ambazonia this week, a very special broadcast where the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia will be having a rencontre with Amber Media Warriors, a very strategic arm of the government where we enforce the internationalization of the plight of the people of Ambazonia. But before we even get into that, in an attempt to ban or reaffirm or reassert the stance of the nation, President Sako declares every election, any attempt organizing election in Ambazonia, particularly by the colonial administration, illegal. My question is, will the forces of occupation, with the administrators, enablers, all those who have sought to undermine the sovereignty of Ambazonia, hearken to this advice? It was not a negotiation, it was an assertion, a firm assertion. And when he speaks, you should be well aware that the Ambazonian State Army is on alert to neutralize any calculation that dares to undermine it. This is where we're going to begin Ambazonia this week with our party king. I have with me, as always, Barrister Tim Beseha, Barrister Fu Johnson. So much for us to talk about before the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia comes up. There's a lot for us to talk about. But even before we delve into it, with a debut on this firm declaration, he did so in the meekest of terms, talking to his own people in the pidgin English. I'll bring that audio that we put on a cover in the video for you to listen again. When we're done with that listening, we will start our debate this evening. Stay tuned.
fellow Ambazonians, fellow Southern Cameroonians, and especially our Ambazonia State Army, Ambazonia State Armed Forces. This message now for all week. I want to make you no forget anything what they talk for this message for you. Make you no forget one line for what we are talking. Because we get the following thing the way if any man do one for inside Ambazonia from today is a crime. That one a total punishment where that person must get. Matter of fact, the community will decide whether na capital punishment or na which kind of punishment. But na crime. That means if you do any of these things then from this day forward, you are a criminal according to the law of Ambazonia, and they will deal with you appropriately. That means according to number one, for be a member of any political party inside Ambazonia, unless political party where na the government of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, na give them authorization to operate. And to the best of my knowledge, we never accredit, we never authorize, we never give legal paperwork for any political party for operate inside Ambazonia. So for you for belong to a political party where it be authorized by the colonial genocidal government, it's a crime in Ambazonia. Whether not they call it a CPP, whether they call it a LDP, whether they call it a CPDM or a SDF, for you for belong because na colonial party than that, because they be authorized by the colonial government. For you for belong to any political party authorized by the colonial government, you commit a crime of treason. Number two, to support a political party inside Ambazonia is also a crime. The crime of association. That means that you don't associate yourself with criminals, therefore you are a criminal. Number three, all election matters inside Ambazonia na capital crime for Ambazonia. Na crime. Na number one bad for inside Ambazonia where it be na treason, because that means for register for vote for Ambazonia, anybody where they carry a card where they call and say voters card or register for vote, that person na criminal, in name na criminal for inside Ambazonia. You are a criminal. If they search you, they see any voters card, that means say you are a criminal. Criminal number one, committing the crime where they call and say treason for inside Ambazonia. That means say number four, to organize a political campaign. So man call you say, me would you organize, me will carry this team, we want go make buy higher tent for here and so on, one go make political campaign because the one can make campaign. It's a crime in Ambazonia. And to attend the political rally inside house or outside, you will dress for go attend. You are a criminal. Why they pay you now 1,000 francs, 500 for campaign for attend? Whether it be wear uniform or not be wear uniform, or for you for go attend any political campaign, you be a criminal by association. And also for you for register, say you want stand election, maybe you want be candidate. The moment you give your name for inside to the colonial government of La Republique, say you want be a candidate for a political party where go run for that election where organized by La Republique, you are a criminal. If your name just day for that list, you are a criminal. You commit the crime of treason inside Ambazonia. You where you share political poster, they want check your phone, you share them, you put someone them for your motor, you gum someone them for road, you throw someone them for road. If they catch you, where you share political poster them or t-shirt them, just say you share them, you are a criminal inside Ambazonia. You be a criminal. To be part of any political convoy, they come, you say you want drive go for matters them for go or you want drive go follow them for road for bring them, you be part of a convoy. They go, you follow them on motor. Why they give you now poop from your motor, they say may you carry them, may you follow them as a convoy or follow them come back, or they hire on a motorbike, they say may on a big convoy when I go for part of the campaign. To be part of any political campaign convoy, whether not by motor basically or not by taxi them or na motor them, is a crime in Ambazonia from today. I want make we understand say we get two countries, two governments. Yes, just like you know if you carry a political campaign for La Republique, carry and go for Ghana, and you drive all over the place where the Ghana government no authorize you. Now so too it for inside Ambazonia. La Republique they no can't bring their political affairs inside Ambazonia. No, and the one office where we don't already wipe out, you know they again for inside Ambazonia. If we catch you, you call yourself say you be part of that office, you are a criminal number one. That means say elecam or that people the way they say that they organize election. Every elecam official, every elecam office, every elecam bureau in Ambazonia is a crime office. It's a criminal office. It's a place where criminals gather to commit crime against the state. That place no need for exist again for throughout Ambazonia. And anybody will go present himself anywhere as somebody where they come for can't organize election, that person is criminal number one. ASA wanna make sure say if you get way for enter, you know get way for come out. We don't ban the activities of Elekam, we don't ban the activities of their workers, we don't ban their presence inside Ambazonia. From now, this month of April 2024 to December 2025, anybody will go against this rule, this law them for inside Ambazonia, well, the Ambazonian people, they go show you who own the land. And make no talk say you be my brother, so you go break the law, you be alright. No talk say me and you be go for the same school, so you go break the law, or you be my neighbor, or be my countryman, or you did talk English like me. Therefore, you don't break the law, no bad. When it happen for you, you say no, we follow our own people them, we torment our own people them. No break the law, because punishment is bad now when you punish the innocent. But you don't hear the law today. If you go do this thing them, we don't talk say no electioneering inside Ambazonia. If you do and they catch you, that one they don't call and say torment. They call and say punishment for crime. A word to the wise is enough. If you get a brother, you get a sister, you get a mommy, you get a papa, you get a pikin, where they be involved in any way, in any kind of politics inside Ambazonia, just tell it, say stop committing crimes against Ambazonia and stay safe, because no man will come for you if inside this matter you be innocent. Thank you.
You have heard it for yourself. The President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia outrightly, unapologetically, and categorically declaring that any attempt, participation, association with the objective of organizing a Cameroon's election in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia will be met with utmost punishment. Barrister Fru, we've missed you all week long. We'll be having Barrister Mbesia talk to us. But it's a lot for us to talk about this. Please talk to us. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I was very excited to listen to the audio from the president. It really emphasizes our stand, our policies from the beginning. La Republic political parties are banned on our territory. They cannot carry out any kind of campaign or any kind of recruitment, or anybody who lives in Ambazonia who is in a political party is now a target. It's not a target. Let me give you information that I just received, fellow Ambazonians. Sometime this week that we are still on, Joshua Osti put together SDF parliamentarians plus the Secretary General of SDF, who is called Donatus Njong, the former mayor of Bui, the former mayor of Kumbo, the Secretary General. They went to the presidency and they met with Ngongo. They wrote a memo and took it to Ngongo, and they said, Ngongo, the government of La Republique should do everything to release political prisoners, the Ambazonian prisoners in their jails, especially the Ayuktabe and 9 others. And that release will bring excitement in the north, what they call Northwest and Southwest, so that the nation will be happy, and they will go against any separatist movement, and the Cameroon soldiers will now have an easy task of eliminating the separatists, and they will regain their constituency for the next election that is coming up. That the government should do everything to allow them get back their constituency of the Northwest and Southwest. I am sending this message to Joshua Osi. Joshua Osi, you were the one who signed a document from your parliament asking that all Ambazonians living abroad should be repatriated to Yaoundé so that they can be tried and sentenced for supporting the fight on the ground to separate the Cameroon nation. You signed that document. You were the only one who signed that document from that parliament. Today, now you are the head of the SDF, and you want your constituency back so that they can vote and give you parliamentarians. Mr. OC, you are not going to cross the Mongo with any kind of political party into the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. We will stop you. And if you try, you know what the punishment is. You have listened to our president. You have listened, and try it and see what happens to you. I'm telling you, you know me very well. Barrister Frujo, so you know me very well. You know who I am. We will fight you to the bitter end. There will be no elections in Ambazonia. Try it and see us. That is exactly how I think, Paddy. And I tell you, this issue is an issue that will bring us in confrontation with all enablers of living on our land. If anybody is living in Ambazonia and you are a member of any political party, CPDM, SDF, CMC, whatever they call them, you are going to be brought down, or you will face any kind of punishment that the population will decide on you. We will not accept that to take place now, from now going forward. Try it and see. La République du Cameroon is very unstable now. And you think that you are having a constituency to take parliamentarians back to Yaoundé will help anybody? You want something for yourself. You will not get it from Ambazonians this time around. Joshua OC, you know what can happen. I know you are from Dian. I know that you are led Dr. OC's son, and you have turned your back on your people. Therefore, you will not compete to take anybody to vote for you or campaign for you or be a militant of the SDF anywhere in Ambazonia. That is a message I'm passing to you, or Joshua OC and your team. We know that you are preparing a team of parliamentarians and the Secretary General to go to Ambazonia to campaign. Try it and see what will happen.
Now, the interesting part about it, for those who are watching us on satellite, you would have been watching Barrister Mbesia earlier on, talking to the people about the consequences that awaits enablers, like Joshua was saying, and others during this time of war. For those who are watching us on satellite, if you're not watching us on satellite and you're waiting just for social media, you are not privy to that rebroadcast. Barrister Mbesia, I'm coming back to you right now. And I would think that you need to enforce a little bit more on this evil mechanization that the colonial administration is actually deploying people of Southern Cameroonian extraction to fight us in this manner. They have a clear strategy, and it is a recycling that has been very consistent. Talk to us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say something about it. I will take off by saying this. The president has delivered a message to all Ambazonians. But let me just add this. Because most of the people standing elections, or the ones who want to stand elections in Ambazonia, in whatever party they choose to, those people are at the very least well educated. The bulk of them are university graduates, so they can read and write. A good number of them are old enough, so they can remember history. And so, from that perspective, what are elections intended for in general? Elections are intended to hold people into some house of representative, some council, or something, where they will do something to change their life back home, in whatever constituency you find yourself. And because these people are educated, let me just remind them, as far as Southern Cameroon is concerned, the last time they had elections, take note of it. The last time we had elections in Southern Cameroon was in 1959. Prior to that, we had elections in 1957, where Ndele won. In 1959, elections were held, where Foncha won. That was the last time we ever had elections. And so fast forward came the so-called 1961 so-called union, who purportedly joined them, and they had gotten independence without any elections, and they have never had elections ever since. Because the first time they attempted to have elections, which are no elections, together with us, was in 1964. But Ahidjo imposed the list system. There was no election at all. At that time, Ahidjo had his own one party, the UC, Union Camerounese. At that time, there were at least 3 other parties in Ambazonia, British Southern Cameroon. The whole East Cameroon, there was only one party, the UC. And realizing that elections in multi-party systems would threaten his position, Ahidjo fast forward when in 1966 to abolish parties. In fact, to inform the 3 other parties that existed in Southern Cameroon that they no longer needed them. So they should all merge into his party called the UC. And for them to merge, Ahidjo constituted a team of 30 people who merged his party, 4 parties. There were 3 in the Southern Cameroon and 1 in their own territory. Of the 30 delegates that were to sit down and make up that party in 1966, 30 delegates. British Southern Cameroon, who had 3 parties. They had the KNDP, they had the CPNC, they had the CUC. The 3 parties that formed 4 parties that were merging from Southern Cameroon had only 4 delegates. 4 delegates. No, that 8 delegates, sorry. The Foncha's party, KNDP, who was in government and was merging with CUC, had to produce only 4 delegates out of 30. The CPNC of Ndele had to produce only 2 delegates. The CUC of Muna had to produce 2 delegates. All Ambazonia and Southern Cameroon produced 8 out of the 30 delegates. Where was the democracy there? Going forward, they had 30 delegates, 22 from UC and 8 from Ambazonia. And they formed what they call the UC, the CNU rather. They formed what they call the CNU, which was supposed to be a united party. And since then, there has never been any elections in Cameroon. Elections, what they call elections, are pretentious. Fast forward, in 1992, they purported to hold elections, which all of us now agree. They also agree that in that election, Nifrundi won. Where did Nifrundi go to after the winning? What did they get out of the elections? The victory of Nifrundi, who was never to see political office. Fast forward again, in 1997, Brasanso was talking about the SDF. The SDF contested elections, and they won a number of councils, and they won more than 40 parliamentarians who went to parliament. As of today, what did the 40 parliamentarians of the SDF produce? Not even a single legislation. They didn't even propose one. And so, what is the essence of pretending even to hold elections, where elections have no meaning at all in your lives? If you must die for participating in an irrelevant enterprise called elections, why will you go give your life for that kind of nonsense? If the Joshua OCs and whoever wants to go to parliament, it is purely because they want to go and get money for themselves. That's all what they want to do. And may we remind the SDF that we are now at war, and the Yaoundé so-called parliament to which you belong, to which OC belongs as an elected member, they have never debated even the issue that is at stake. But above all, the only person who stood up in parliament, the parliamentarian, and put out his hand to say this is wrong, they put the warrant of arrest on him. He escaped. He escaped from the parliament.
That is the man from the warrior.
Yes, yes. So
From Jakiri.
From Jakiri.
Yeah. How can an MP be chased away from parliament for talking something on the parliamentary floor? Absolutely
Something that
no
warrants
reason.
conversation.
Yes. The only person who survived there was Pastor Kemonde. What happened to Kemonde? They killed him. Not that they killed him, up to today, since the death of Kemonde. We have not heard the Senate, we have not heard the Parliament raise even an idea that his death should be investigated. Not even investigation carried about his own death, the death of one of DS. And to compound it all, just like Mr. So said, Mr. Osi, a representative of the Ambazonians, a born Ambazonian, will go to Parliament, so-called Parliament, and sign a petition that they should adopt us, just as they adopted last night, and bring us to Yaoundé to be jailed immediately.
For trial.
Given this background, will anybody in his or her right senses go to stand elections? For what? Even if you don't stand, they will still write your name there. What? This is not the first time. When this war started, I remember, Mbanda, who told him not to go. Mbanda was prepared to give bribe to go and stand elections in Batibo. He was prepared to bribe his way. For what? For what? Mbanda had been vice president of the House of Assembly. He had produced nothing. They had never even proposed a legislation for the past 30 years as members of parliament. So is it worth the price? Is it worth even anything at all? What they call elections in Cameroon, they have never existed, they will never exist, and even if they do exist, according to what the president has said, and we should all take it from it, those elections will exist without Ambazonians taking part in them. Let them transform the system, be good for them, but we should not be part of the transformation. We should just be part of the public deceit. And so I think the president's message is clear. If you are a collaborator, as I said it in the last seminar we had yesterday or 2 days ago, collaborators have a price to pay. The price is not imprisonment. The price collaborators pay is life, is death. Because you are selling people. You are forgetting that in the name of this struggle, people have lost their children, they have lost their mothers, they have lost homes, they have lost limbs. And so the punishment for collaboration is death. Not death sentence to be put in court. Nobody's going to try you in the court. The wrath of the population will take a toll on you. There's no question asked. If you doubt me, quote me. But nobody is taking you to any court. The popular justice will take care of you. So collaborators, you want, if you cannot hear and you have your families, let them tell you the risk they are taking. When we go out for collaborators, we eliminate everything that goes their way. So collaborators in this system that has killed and continues to kill us just for talking. Talking is part of democracy. Talking is part of what elections are all about. If people cannot even talk, they cannot even express a view which you don't like, then is elections worth the price? Over to you, Paddy.
We're going to come to even the involvement of the church in this election engineering, this evil election engineering. But before that, Barrister Fru said something that's very instrumental, and it has to do with Joshua Osi scheming to have our prisoners of war as a bet to ensure Cameroon that there will be normalcy. Onye, I don't know if you can hear me. If you, as you can see, the anchor ladies of Undaunted are so beautifully dressed this evening because the president will be meeting Amber Media Warriors. And I want to believe that you can actually hear me as we're speaking now. I also understand that you had the opportunity to cover the story of certain groups of individuals, mostly from South Africa, um, confronting the Senate in Nigeria for the release of the Naran. Would you bring to us that report, please?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And for a while now, remember we tackled the Naran issue in 2 weeks here on Undaunted. But this is a new dimension to the report, and we felt that it was necessary, or it is necessary, to bring Undaunted's perspective to the fore. Now, according to international human rights law, of course, we have said this before, when we talk about the principle of non-refoulement. Now, it ensures that individuals cannot be sent back to a country where they would be subjected to, first of all, torture, cruelty, inhuman or degrading treatment, or other irreparable harm. This principle applies to all migrants, regardless of their migration status, that we stipulated and made it clear in our report here on Undaunted, I think 2 weeks ago exactly. Now, non-refoulement is a crucial safeguard provided by international human rights, refugee, humanitarian, and customary law. Now, its core tenet is to prevent states from transferring or removing individuals from their jurisdiction or control when there are substantial reasons to believe they would face significant harm upon return. 2 days ago, the Southern Cameroon professors and professionals who were working in Nigerian University got arrested, detained in Cameroon, and sentenced to life imprisonment after their repatriation from Nigeria, now dubbed the Naran. Now, they have petitioned the Nigerian House of Representatives seeking intervention for their release. The petition was presented by the Fuller chambers, urging diplomatic and political measures by the Nigerian government to secure their freedom. Abdul Shaibu, representing the legal firm, emphasized the need for the President of Nigeria, President Tinubu's federal government, to engage with the Cameroonian authorities for their release, citing Tinubu's background in fighting tyranny and defending human rights. Additionally, we must state here that concerns were raised about the Buhari's administration's alleged disregard for human rights and the unjust sentences of individuals, including a 65-year-old former deputy registrar of Ahmadu Bello University under the Cameroonian law. In recent times, we have seen questionable figures fighting to free the Naran, knowing full well Paul Biya, who extradited these Naran and incarcerated them, has not budged to release them with all the petitions made for their freedom. What are the chances that these former leaders are not given the struggle up to regain freedom? That is one major question we should be asking ourselves this evening. Now, in the quest for the release of the Naran, a lot of questions and concerns are coming to play. First is, if they are merely fighting for personal liberty from imprisonment, or is their struggle intertwined with the broader cause of Ambazonians' freedom? And if so, could their release come at the cost of Ambazonians' liberation? As this individuals petitioned the Nigerian House of Representatives for intervention, orchestrated by the Fuller chambers, we must question the nature of the diplomatic and political measures proposed, which is, can President Tinubu's government effectively engage Cameroonian authorities considering the complex geopolitical dynamics at play? Will France, perceived as the puppet master behind the Cameroon, approve their release, or will they prioritize maintaining their influence over the region? But furthermore, amidst their fervent calls for freedom, one cannot ignore the actions of former leaders spearheading the campaign, despite Potbier's steadfast refusal to release the Naran, despite numerous petitions. These figures continue their efforts. Are they persistent in the struggle for justice, or is there a hidden agenda driving their actions? We ask again. In this intricate web of geopolitical interest and political ambitions, the plight of the Naran raises profound questions about the true nature of freedom and the sacrifices demanded in its pursuit. Well, I'm sure that Barrister Tim this year, and of course Barrister Phil would have a lot of opinion regarding these latest developments. Mr. Cha, over to you.
Yeah, I like the argument you brought in there. That's quite intriguing. Is it about their release or the freedom of Ambazonia? Without any attempt to sound unsympathetic, without any way of undermining the plight of these men who dedicated their lives a long time ago in several different counts to fight for the nation. Barrister Fu, I'm coming to you. You were their lead lawyer. If there is anyone here who has a deep understanding of the intricacies, the legal stance as it is today, you should be that person. We now have Joshua Osi also joining the game. Why certain individuals in Nigeria are seeking for their release without even advocating for the freedom of the nation that they were fighting for. We have Joshua Osi also telling the Cameroon government, hey, if you get these guys out, we can use them to ensure normalcy and to make sure that elections return. Talk to us, sir.
Yes, Paddy. I went to Nigeria with a team of lawyers. We were about four of us to join the team in Nigeria led by Femi Falana.
Yeah.
And during the trial, it was only Femi Falana and a few of us that were at trial. If you look at the composition of those who went to parliament, it's only one Nigerian lawyer, Oru, who was not even at that trial. But he was purportedly working with Femi Falana on that case. And in court, there were two major laws that were violated. One, the 1951 Convention on the protection of refugees and asylum seekers was promulgated in 1951 after the World War. Merely after World War II, it was promulgated to protect refugees around the world, and Nigeria and Cameroon signed and ratified that treaty in 1961. Now, the second law that was debated was the violation of the Nigerian Constitution of 1979 that protects everybody, including asylum seekers and refugees. And of course, the third point was the human rights law of the protection of every human being, the protection of the law that is afforded to every human being. That case resulted in a victory for us, and the Nigerian government, the Nigerian High Court in Abuja issued a judgment asking the Nigerian government to ensure that all the refugees that were repatriated from Nigeria who were asylum seekers, I want to be clear here, there were two sets of the people that were concerned. The Naira 10, the Taraba 37, and the Calabar 5 I think 5 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. They were all in that. They were all joined in that case, and these people were arrested in Nigeria in the absence of Buhari, who had traveled, who had gone on a foreign visit. But the head of the SS, I think it's SSA, what the Nigerian Secret Service, a general, was bribed by Atanganji and Rene Sadi. They carry a big values of dollars into Nigeria, and they successfully repatriated our people from Nigeria to come and face trial. They were not only the Naira 10. It included 37 of our people from Taraba State, and between 5 and 9 of our people from Calabar. They were all repatriated to Kondenge, to Yaoundé, where they were put in Kondenge. Now, this group that has left wherever they have left and gone to Nigeria, to the House of Assembly in Nigeria, the House of Representatives, to present this case, they are only talking about the Naira 10. What happened to the 37? What happened to the 9? And what happened to all the other Ambazonian prisoners that were taken by the Biya regime on the ground and locked up in all the prisons around their so-called prisons in Cameroon? They only concentrated on university teachers that were in Nigeria. That is among talking about the Naira 10. And I heard the debate. I read the debate in the Nigerian House of Representatives. The matter was adjourned to the 14th of May. The question is, how has this thing crept now into the release of the Naira 10 in Yaoundé through a petition by Joshua O.C., pleading that they should liberate the system, the regime should liberate his constituency. I see a nexus because Joshua O.C. has been contacting Ayuk Tabe in prison. Nkanto has been contacting Ayuk Tabe in prison. Nietzsche, who is Kamto's man, has been paraded himself around the world. And in Kondenge, and even though the regime is fighting him, so some of the political zealots in the regime are fighting him, they have been contacting Ayuk Tabe in prison. Well, I don't have anything against the release of our prisoners, especially if it involves everybody. But if they have to release the 10, well, they are Ambazonians, and that would include Patasang, and it's a very good thing for us. But then, we cannot accept any kind of political maneuvering in Ambazonia. We will not accept any kind of political, since 2017, October 1st, when we restored our government, the government of the Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, has not authorized any political party. The president said that. And we have a policy banning any kind of political party or political campaigns or people meeting and talking about politics, because we are at war. And we are now a different country from La République du Cameroon. We will not accept a foreign country coming in to ask our people to vote for them, or to be voted, to vote people from our territory to take to their parliament or to whatever structure they have. We will not accept that. And that is why I send that message to Joshua O.C. I'm sending the same message to Nietzsche and Kamto. Kamto refused to receive our people in Canada because they were Ambazonians. What has changed? What has so far changed? He even made a declaration he's not going for election because he wants the regime to end the war in Ambazonia, and he also wants the electoral code to be done. Has the regime ended the war in Ambazonia? No. Why is he asking Ambazonians to go and register? Register where? We will not even want to see anybody parading or opening an office called the Lekam office in Ambazonia. Those are legitimate targets, and the Ambazonia State Army has been put on high alert on that. We will fight every one of them. Nobody would go to Ambazonia to campaign or form a political or have political meetings or do anything in Ambazonia. And this thing has started. It started with Anyangwe, them leading that delegation to the Nigerian Parliament, and now it has now resulted in political gimmicks in La République du Cameroon, led by the SDF. They met with Ngongo, who is now the de facto president, because their so-called president is now a vegetable. And now Ngongo is running the show. They met with Ngongo, and that was the presentation by Joshua Osi and the Secretary General Donatus Njong, who was former mayor of Kumbu. We have all of them. Those are enablers, and anyone that we see on the Ambazonia territory at this time going forward is a legitimate target.
That cannot be said any louder. By Stambesa, some time ago, you said something very instrumental, and I want to link it to Onye's analysis there. You said you're not against the release, like Barrister Frus is saying today. You're not against the release of these individuals who are paying so dearly simply because they thought that we as a people, we have a right to exist. But today we are gaining more interest in bringing the matter to the table because enablers, unionists, and evil practitioners of Cameroon have positioned themselves to use these individuals as a bait. They are promising Cameroon that if you will release them, not because they deserve to have a sovereign nation, but if you would release them, we can assure you that normalcy will return and there will be a possible free and fair elections. Now, you said something which is where I want to cue you in, Barrister Mbesia. You said some time ago, you said the best way for their freedom as we speak is for the nation of Ambazonia to be free. Do you want to talk to us more on that, please?
Yes, thank you, Paddy. When we have this type of debates, I want to focus on very strategic issues. This is the problem. This is the problem. Now, I want to address the issue of these guys in Nigeria addressing the Nigerian parliament or assembly, whatever they call it there. Yeah. This is the point. We're all agreed that adopting people from Nigeria and sending them to Cameroon, whether they were refugees or whatever thing they call themselves asylees, was illegal internationally because the conventions that bind the movement of people accused of anything from one jurisdiction to the other, these conventions are signed by Nigeria. Nigeria is party to them. Cameroon is party to them. So whatever took place against the Naran 10 in 2018, 5th of January, we all agree, including the Nigerian government, it was manifestly illegal. It was illegal. There's no doubt about that. Because it is not you and me just say, oh, these are people who are called refugees or asylum seekers. It is not you or me to appreciate that. That appreciation where they should go back home, whether they are Cameroonians, Nigerians, Japanese, whoever, is done by the courts. That's why those conventions introduce what they call extradition agreements, extradition procedures. You will not even do it unless you have an extradition agreement between the two countries. And what does extradition mean? It means that they are taken before a court, and the reasons for which they are being sent back to whatever country are given, The court, which is in principle supposed to be independent, analyzes them and be sure that all what the conventions say, that people will not face danger over there and so on and so forth, applies to them. But this did not happen to the Naran 10. In fact, we have even made a mistake to say that they were adopted from Nigeria by Cameroonian troops. Now, I would technically say they were adopted without warrants and forced back to Cameroon by the Nigerian government. Why? Because even though there were physical Cameroonians present with their plane, they would not have entered even the Nigerian airspace without the permission of the Nigerian government. They don't have the power to go to Nigeria and arrest anybody anywhere in Naran Hotel, even in the village. That's within the competence of the Nigerian authority. And so until they let you do it, until they permit you and assist you, take you to a place called Naran Hotel or wherever they were hiding, you will not do it. So technically that thing was done by the Nigerian government. They admit that they did it. That was illegal. That was wrong. But can you get them out through this procedure, which is what is important now? Can you get them out through this procedure? With all due respect to the lawyers, I disagree. You cannot get them out through that procedure. Because even international law, you see, countries are strong. When somebody is running away for whatever thing, and the opponent who is chasing him gets him illegally by kicking him down, by shooting his feet, and takes him into his own custody. You, the stranger, you don't have the power to come and force them to release those guys. You can pass a million judgments in your own court. The court that will pass this in Nigeria, the decisions don't bind the Cameroon government. Once they took you into their own custody, you are their prisoner. And in this case, they have sentenced you to death. What physical power does Nigeria have, or any other country in the world, have to go and open Kondingi and remove those guys? Zero power, absolutely zero power. So the only thing that they have left, as far as Nigeria is concerned, that they can do is diplomatic power. They can use diplomacy and say, well, we did a mistake, but this is becoming so unpopular. Talk to the Cameroon government diplomatically, let us get these people released, to at least cleanse our eyes. That is doable. But you don't do it diplomatically in a Nigerian House of Assembly. No. Even if the passes a resolution there, it will be enforced by the foreign ministry, by what they call in the United States, the State Department. And let me just give this example. I don't know how old you are, Paddy. In 1976, I think you were very young then, there was this thing which we know it as the Entebbe rates. Entebbe rates was when Israel.
I wish I was born in 1976 so that my beards would have been grayer by now. And I'll get
you must have heard about the Entebbe rates. The Israelis went with their planes to Entebbe in Uganda to free their plane that had been adopted and kept there. They didn't take permission from anybody. They captured the people, killed some of them. And they have not been, the people were not put on trial. They simply captured those who had their planes. And so they showed that mastery on force and took them away. There's nothing you would do to Israel. They did wrong thing, but they didn't even tell Uganda. They violated their airspace, violated their territory by landing on their Entebbe airport, and took them away by force. Nobody would do anything to Israel for committing that crime. By violating their airspace, they were committing a crime. So once they get the people they want to get, they're in a stronger position, which is what Yawande is holding over physical and our own people, the 10, because those are the ones that were in Nigeria that are officially adopted. So you cannot do it through that method of a court case, not in the Congress in Nigeria. The only thing they have that they could do is through diplomacy. And let me add that in 2019, I sitting here who tried to initiate the diplomatic thing in the Nigerian system through those very lawyers. The two lawyers are sitting there. I talked with them. They asked me, they have never even seen the judgment. They asked me, I told them, I look, there's a judgment that compares Nigeria to take our case to the international court. They said they have never seen the judgment. They asked me, I sent them the judgment. And they promised me that we were going to take that judgment. For them say, yeah, the brother was a senator to the Senate, they see what they could do with it. That was 2019. Till today, that judgment that they could have used to plagiarize the Nigerian Foreign Ministry has never been done. So what is going on now, which I saw, I think Brother Sanso saw the debate, is political posturing. It's political posturing. It's not legal, nothing. They will not be, if they can release them from there, thank be to God. But if you're asking my opinion, it is absolutely not possible. In this matter, that they are very Congress, they raised the issue of this judgment of 2002, which was a constant judgment, which was the only legal thing that they could do. This asked the Congress to tell the Nigerian government to implement the judgment of 2002, the Abuja court judgment, which they should have implemented it. That was under Obasanjo. It must be implemented. Why? Because it was a consent judgment. The Attorney General of Nigeria came and signed that we have agreed to do this. They enumerated the things. They have not done them. So whether OC is saying it from his parliament, it is political person, they want to get votes. They know that they will not release anybody to help OC get votes. They know, and so they're not going to do that. But they don't want to think that, they want us to think that they're also fighting. They know that that will not work. So the only thing left, which should be emphasized, these people were adopted under Buhari, but this judgment was entered. This judgment was entered under Obasanjo. So there have been 3 presidents in Nigeria since then. No, 4. The other one who died. They have been there. So we can use that method, and we should use that method as far as we can. But thinking that you go and ask anybody to go and ask them to release the people they have gripped on their carnage.
It's actually a waste of
it's a waste of time. It's political.
There's so much that we can say.
Buddy, can I add?
Yes, I'll give you a few seconds. Yes, I'll give you a few seconds to add that. I would like to indicate that, as you see, we are nicely dressed. It's because this is a very important day for the media warfare in Ambazonia. And we thought that this program was instrumental the way it should be. So we're going to make our comments a little bit brief, because on top of the hour, if I'm not mistaken, or any moment from now, the organizers of this meeting, the president would have, I'm sure a lot of stakeholders would have received their invitations from the president. The president will be addressing some very pertinent issues, and would like to give him that opportunity to do that when he is ready. But Barrister Fru, make your comment really briefly so that we can go to the importance of our media warfare before the president mounts the stage. Please talk to us.
Yes, when the lawyers in Nigeria, we the lawyers, that is Femi Falana and us, we were under no illusion that the Nigerian government will execute that judgment. During when the judgment was issued, the Attorney General of Nigeria was given 14 days within which to appeal. He did not appeal, so the judgment became final. We were of the impression that the Nigerian government now will take that judgment that ordered those people to be returned and to be paid 5 million naira each for the harm caused on them. And the Attorney General did not appeal. The judgment became final. We were expecting Nigeria to now take that judgment to the International Court of Justice to ask Cameroon to release those people. It's not only diplomacy that can be involved. There's also the court, the International Court. If the Nigerian government took Cameroon to the International Court for the execution of that judgment that was issued when those people were forcefully repatriated to Cameroon. I'd like to also state that Cameroon does not have any extradition treaty with Nigeria. The law, the international convention was the international convention was violated, the international convention was violated, and the Nigerian constitution was violated. Therefore, with that international convention violated the principle of non-refoulement, Nigeria, if they were minded, they would have taken that matter to the International Court of Justice as we expected. Even FEMA filed a presentation to the Nigerian Foreign Ministry. Yet, nothing happened. So, but the courts are still open. That matter can still be resolved by the International Criminal Court in The Hague. But to go to the politicians in the National Assembly.
I wanted to agree with you on that by saying that Onye brought in her analysis at least 3 times the Treaty of Non-Refoulement, which is an international law. It is not even that's about the Nigerian law. That is an international law. But we find these gangsteric governments, or should I say rascalic states in Africa, undermining all international injunctions. They will beat to kill with impunity, and diplomacy, the legal system is kind of taking it slow. The other day when Onye was interviewing Barrister Mbesa, I wish I was doing it when he was answering a particular question. Are we saying that particularly the Bia's government is above the law and cannot receive sanctions? Because that, I know what is happening at the background, but I would like to provoke a conversation whereby we can see the influence of France. And that's an aspect where we've both undermined from Onye's report. The influence of France, making it impossible for international laws to be implemented. We saw Mugabe a couple of times doing very basic things, receiving sanctions globally. Only the United States has suspended Cameroon from AGOA. The EU promised in one resolution to take actions, and nothing is happening. And BIA keeps on and on and on, and it is really unfortunate. I wish we had all the time to talk on that this evening. But moving forward, during the week we had the Undaunted newsroom processing reports on the involvement of the clergy. We saw also what is happening on the ground with the Ambazonian State Army. And I to understand that, Star Smart, you have an overview of this news week, so we can get to the last phase of this conversation and give the president the stage. Am I correct? Star, can you hear me?
Correct. Absolutely.
Please, the mic is yours, please.
Good evening, Mr. Tar. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear. Please talk to us.
Okay, I sure do have the overview of what made the news in Ambazonia this week. Well, we saw that amidst the ongoing struggle for independence in Ambazonia this week, witnessed a series of significant developments that underscored the complex dynamics of the conflict, from the Amazonian State Army's resolute enforcement of ghost town observance to the colonial government's attempt to curb their activities. The week unfolded with intensity and gravity. While as tensions escalated, innocent civilians found themselves caught in the crossfire, facing detention and persecution. Against this backdrop, the ASA remains steadfast in their mission to protect their people, actively identifying and thwarting attempts by La République du Cameroon to undermine their cause. Meanwhile, Amazonian Defense Forces of Chuayaba that are considered to be proxies of the colonial La République adds further complexity to the situation, with their unpredicted and unpredictable actions causing more pains for Amazonians and leaving Amazonians frustrated. Behind closed doors, we also saw colonial La République military commanders acknowledging the ongoing intensity of the conflict, dispelling the illusions of political rhetoric. In this overview, we'll delve into the multifaceted events of the week, shedding light on the state of the war in Ambazonia, as well as the social-political aspect of Ambazonia, and even La République's negligence in still not letting Ambazonia go. The resilience of the people at the end of the day is our utmost focus in the overview of this report of tonight. Well, this week, Ambazonia has seen significant developments, as said, in the ongoing struggle for independence. The Ambazonian State Army took bold step to enforce Ghost Town observance in Nkambe, sanctioning defaulters and destroying motorcycles linked to CPDM loyalists. Despite blame games, the Ambazonian State Army remains resilient, because we had Atanga NG this week in the news blaming the networks of Orange and MTN for not being able to curb Ambazonian State Army. Over 150 million civilians as well from Bafut and surroundings were detained due to contacts found in phones collected from a fighter, a soldier named Pa Alaji of the ASA. Despite this, Pa Alaji and the Ambazonian State Army continue to challenge colonial forces. The Ambazonian State Army in Ngoketun Jarava actively identifies sellouts and cuts connections with La Republic, demonstrating a proactive stance in protecting their people. La Republic persists as well in an intimidation strategy as they see the Ambazonian State Army winning the war. They persist in an intimidation strategy, punishing non-collaborative villages and resorting to abductions for information about the Ambazonian State Army. And the ADF reportedly lifted the ban of Guzang Market in Batibo, which has still been in the question. That ban only caused frustration for civilians and did nothing else, which has always been part of the agenda as proxies of La Republique. General Buba Debakur as well affirmed the northern zone's continued activity, contradicting political declarations. Overall, the situation in Ambazonia remains tense, but then the resilience of the ASA underscores the ongoing struggle for independence in the news of this week. Onto the socio-political landscape in Ambazonia. Unveiling the complex socio-political landscape of Ambazonia, which is a struggle for sovereignty and autonomy. The socio-political state in Ambazonia, particularly the southern Cameroonians, is fraught with tension and dissatisfaction, highlighted by recent events implicating key figures within the Catholic Church, led by Bishop Nkea. These figures were caught on camera attempting to manipulate citizens' participation in the upcoming presidential elections organized by President Biya's corrupt government. This manipulation is deeply offensive to the people of Ambazonia, who have a history of electoral injustices dating back to the plebiscite of 1961. In this intricate tapestry of unrest, the role of religious leaders in Ambazonia's struggle for freedom faces intense scrutiny. The failure of these bishops to denounce Biya's oppressive regime and its constitutional abuses has stirred a certain controversy and prompting questions about their allegiance and moral stance. Well, amidst this turmoil, notable figures like Akere Muna embroil themselves in controversy for advocating a vision of a united Cameroon, or one Cameroon under Franco-Cameroon dominance, despite acknowledging its detrimental effect. This stance has certainly elicited accusations of his betrayal from the Ambazonian community, questioning the feasibility of this one Cameroon agenda he pushes, given historical and legal realities on the ground. On the other hand, we saw Thibonard's comparison of the situation in the Cameroons with that of Canada in a tweet where he underscores the unfair treatment of the Ambazonians by the La Republique du Cameroon regime. Well, this unfair treatment is evident in the neglect of infrastructure, institutions and services in Ambazonia, which we brought to you this week, that highlights the degree of marginalization that Ambazonians faced by the colonial La Republique. But then while Ambazonians' fight includes addressing historical marginalization with examples which we brought to you, it is primarily focused on reclaiming stolen independence and ensuring sovereignty. That is the utmost goal. The struggle extends beyond issues of neglect to the core principles of self-determination and autonomy. Taking a look at what La Republique has done to Ambazonians' infrastructure, it is a sure sign of infrastructural negligence on the side of colonial La Republique. The corrupt colonial administration only in Ambazonia is there only in Ambazonia to usurp its resources, leaving its infrastructure in shambles and resulting in the loss of lives, adding to the lives lost from the war it declared on the peace-loving peoples of Ambazonia. Taking a look at the poor state of healthcare in the southern Cameroons, it has become totally alarming. In the news this week, we brought to you the tragic loss of 2 of 3 triplets at the Bamenda Regional Hospital due to negligence from the staff that left the mother of the children in sorrow. The healthcare system in Ambazonia is indeed in urgent need of reform, as hospitals are becoming places of loss instead of healing. To corroborate this fact, reports from a day ago, according to officials, reveals that thousands of doctors, making up about 75% of the number of doctors in the Cameroons, are leaving the Cameroons for more profitable opportunities overseas, particularly to Europe and North America. The Cameroon Medical Council, an association of doctors in the Cameroons, complained of low salaries, complained of difficult working conditions, complained of unemployment as well. And it is no wonder why you get to see the nonchalance at these hospitals, because the report from this week of the 2 twins who died from the triplet revealed the negligence of the staff. We get to see the reason why they act so nonchalant in these hospitals, especially the ones in the southern Cameroons that La République has abandoned and would not develop or free the peoples of Ambazonians at least, so that they can develop it as a sovereign nation. But even though there is still no excuse to neglect the medical oath as a doctor or nurse or medical practitioner, but then these statistics of La République du Cameroon's negligence of medical facilities in the Cameroons, especially in the southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, goes a very long way to show why these hospitals have become a place to count lives lost instead of lives saved. Well, Dr. Peter Lou Ndifo, the Cameroon's Medical Council Vice President, expressed his disappointment that the country trains but don't recruit many of its doctors. At the regional hospital in Bamenda, out of 600 staff members, only 146 are employed by the state, meaning the rest are not paid. They handle a significant number of patients, perform surgeries for babies each month. The council also highlights that some health workers, including doctors, sometimes go months without pay and rely on donations and consultation fees to sustain themselves. With this, you get to see health in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, if able to be acquired at all, would be at very expensive rates for medical practitioners who are owed long months before payment and solely depend on their patients' payments to foot their day-to-day bills. You can imagine what they get to do. Well, this issue and the situation demands immediate attention from international partners to address the conflict and support the calls for reform so Ambazonia can attain all the basic amenities that they need and deserve. Well, colonial La République's infrastructural negligence in the southern Cameroon certainly doesn't just end there in the poor healthcare sector, but as well in the road infrastructure, which is always in the news, giving people mud baths or blood baths, as these dilapidated roads have caused the deaths of so many due to the terrible and dilapidated state that they all are. Well, in the news of the week, we get to see several toll gates in Ambazonia still functioning. Wondering what these toll gates are still doing in the southern Cameroons that cannot boast of any good roads that cause accidents and leads to loss of lives. What are these toll gates doing? We wondered this week. Toll gates in Ambazonia have not served their intended purpose of generating revenue for infrastructure development. Despite the original idea of using these toll gate funds for road projects, basically, there is still a lack of proper roads and infrastructure in Ambazonia. Well, this situation raises eyebrows to spot the toll gates now being another fraud and extortion mechanism installed in the southern Cameroons by La République's corrupt administration. Well, you get to see that from the whole reports from this week on the state of war, socio-political landscape, colonial La République's infrastructure negligence in the southern Cameroons, we get to see no matter how challenging that Ambazonians have regardless shown resilience in the seemingly sole solution to all the problems corrupt and annexationist La République has caused for them, which is to be free and with a focused, proactive and steadfast leader like President Sako. We know that that vision of being free is certainly achievable and sure. Over to you, Mr. Patty. That is all on the overview of this week's news.
That was amazing. Thank you very much. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I'm not sure of how much time we do have.
Did you buy
Perhaps you want to get perhaps you want to get your phones on silent so we can proceed with this conversation. We have just a few minutes to do that. Okay, thank you for coming back. That was as much as we could capture. We try as much as possible over the week as we scope through the reports that are mostly reported by other platforms. You have Cameroon proxies would have their own narratives. We get into the news to bring the untold aspects of the news that are not being told. We try to debunk the myths and disinformation that platforms like Meme for Hansen, even Sierra TV, my media prime, Equinox. So it is a battle between ABC Amber Television and a host of extensive, heavily funded media houses. They've strategically positioned themselves to make sure that the world sees us either as terrorists. You have For Hansen, who grew up in Gomungam. I was raised in Gomungam in Bamenda. For Hansen, having the audacity to call his brothers who are defending the restored state of Ambazonia as separatists in his report, and he's done that consistently. This is a young man who was intimidated by Chiruma for simply asking fair questions on television. Ambazonians stood behind him. When he came abroad, he was with us in the communication department. When we started the first news with Pastor D's wife, at the time with SCBC, Mimi Mefo was one of those I considered to work in the newsroom because she was just preparing to leave Cameroon. She initially said yes and later on said no. For Hansen was working with us, with Solomon and my boss. There are a lot of them. The U-turn is what is shocking to us. And why am I telling us this story today? Is to tell us that this is a battle. Cameroon understands what it means to fight the war on the media. History has taught us a couple of times. Britain understood this and had to enforce on their media campaign. They invested billions of pounds to ensure that they could win the war on the media. When Russia invaded Ukraine, we saw Putin a couple of times trying to hack the media system in Ukraine, because they know once you get the media, you get it. There is a media station in Yaoundé that's one of the most protected parts in Yaoundé. It's on top of the tallest hill in Yaoundé. Because if you will get it, when you had the Akwangas in the 90s taking over Radio Boya to declare Ambazonia independent, was because they understood the power of it. It's not just about people talking on the screen. It's about the power of information that can change a people. Cameroon, when our nation was invaded in 1961, the main strategy that was employed by the Franco-Cameroon hegemony was the media. In fact, the greatest investment Cameroon had in the 70s was the construction of what you call the CRTV today. And they took the best architects in the world. It was a contract and a donation that was given by Germany. Lots of millions, hundreds of millions of francs CFA went into it. Before what you call ARF or RFI came into Africa, CRTV had the best logistics in broadcasting because of that importance. And we watched in CRTV every morning and every day. They were telling us that we were primitive, we were the Anglophones, we were the Sauvage, and that their languages, their vocabulary, their vernacular was superior to ours. And it's unfortunate that some of our people, even today, heard about it for so long and believed it. It has affected our musicians. If you have done a little bit of anthropology, you agree with me that the media, that the Bulu and the Beti traditions are more primitive than any culture in the southern Cameroons. But all of us, even you watching me now, you were told that Bikusi is better than Botti dance. How? Go and listen to those folkloric music and tell me, how is it possible for Bikusi to be better than Morning King? It's not possible. But they have said that. And even my brothers in Boya today trying to sing in French to please Cameroon is because of this evil mechanization that was done via the media. We've seen how Cameroon has used the media against us. They made our parents who were working in those days to know that if you can't speak in French, you're a primitive person. But for you who has traveled abroad, you know that French means nothing. Even the French people in France try to speak English because French is inferior. This is how important this platform is. In 2016 was not the first time the people of Southern Cameroons have expressed the desire to be totally free and cut off from La République du Cameroon. But one thing make the difference. This never again generation took advantage of multimedia platforms. We took advantage of the social media and went ahead from Cameroon. We beat them in their own game. In 1992, hundreds and thousands of Southern Cameroonians were killed for simply protesting the elections that were rigged from these elections. But you had only CRTV that could report. Even BBC journalists on the ground could not report the truth. I know of Emmanuel Tumanjong, who was working with AP, Associated Press at the time. He was intimidated by Kodok for trying to present. Emmanuel Tumanjong is a professional journalist from Mancon at the time, and he was working with Associated Press. If anybody understands the media, you agree with me that Associated Press is one of the biggest media at the time. In the 90s, or getting towards the 2000, this a young graduate from Guayaquil University at that time was employed by Associated Press. He was not permitted by Kodok, who was Minister of Communications at that time, to present fair information about any of the elections in Cameroon or anything that was happening in Anglophone Cameroon. They went on and distorted our history. They never told us that for real there was anything existing like Resolution 1608. Lots of us who wrote the GCD ordinary level in history discovered in 2016 that this was all a fraud. Cameroon used the media to achieve the annihilation, the mental enslavement of our people by a minimum of 80%. Today we have an opportunity to have a media like never before, and this is ABC Amber TV. Look at whatever is happening around the place. It is a war between giants against the small David, which is ABC Amber TV. Think of it 1 minute, just for 1 minute. If ABC Amber TV is totally cut off air, it's unfortunate that some of us seem to undermine the importance of this platform and will even advocate for it to be limited to Facebook and on YouTube. Facebook and on YouTube that has denied us monetization. Just the fact that Kemi Ashu is part of the admins of ABC, she has been unable to monetize her platform. In fact, associating yourself with ABC Amber Television it automatically makes you an enemy of the politicized social media of today. So we have something to hang on to and to hold so dearly, and this is ABC. So in view of this week's news, in view of all we've been able to discuss, Barrister Fru, Barrister Mbesia, how important is this media warfare to us at this time? Should we simply forget about it and concentrate on enhancing our boys at the ground who are fighting the war? Do we need to duplicate our efforts in any attempt to inform the world of our plight? What do you think? What's your honest, sincere, and legal opinion? I'll begin with you, Barrister Fu.
Paddy, thank you very much. I want to start by saying, if not of ABC Amber TV, I don't know where this revolution would have gone. This network has been very instrumental in the gains that we have achieved since this revolution. You would imagine those who watch ABC Amber TV on the ground, in the home front, this is the only media that our people have an opportunity to listen to what we say and do. I cannot imagine this revolution continuing without a strong network like ABC Amber TV. And that whatever we do, we must ensure that this network is strengthened and it stays on and lives on until we get to Boya. When we get to Boya, it will automatically become the national TV for the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. It is now a national television for the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia in exile, which we have a duty to run it well, to finance it, to make sure it lives, so that our people will continue to get the information that they need during this war. Without this TV, I don't know how many of our citizens would have lost by now. This TV has helped in exposing all the atrocities committed by La Republique on our people. So whatever we do, if this TV is not there, we are probably gone. We are probably finished. This thing will end in a way that none of us anticipated. So it is a very vital tool in this revolution. We don't have any other way to go. All the other networks are gearing up to destroy us. We must make sure that this television station lives and continue until we use it to build our nation. It will be a continuation in the home front, and it will be established in such a way that it will compete with other powerful networks around the world. For now, we need to continue to finance it to ensure that the message is carried forth, that we expose the atrocities that are going on the ground on our people to the rest of the world, and which this TV has done so far. And so far, so good, Paddy. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate ABC Amber TV for the job they have been doing so far. I remember that Chris Anu wanted to destroy this TV and carry it with him, thanks to the fact that some of you were already present inside this TV. We would have lost it and start afresh. But God will not accept that to happen. Therefore, all efforts, all hands must be on deck to ensure that this television station survives.
Yeah, and by Stambesa, before I get to you, I just want to say something. The media warfare of today is so is so important for very many reasons. If you look at social media monetization, content creation, and what you are able to achieve, and how these deep states, capitalists that are controlling systems of the world, if you see the interest they put in audio visuals, you will know the importance of it. And that's just on one side. So for ABC Amber TV at this critical time, for Ambazonians who are watching me at the home front and those who are watching on all our social media platforms right now, it's not about just your donation. Your donation is primordial. There's no argument about that. It's about your participation in promoting the platform. When you choose to ignore what is done on social media, you are telling the social media community that the fight we're engaging is not important. And that is a wrong statement. I want to tell you that your avoidance to like, to share, and to comment for any reason is not a fight against President Sako. It's not a fight against Third Party King. It's a fight against our own nation. And that probably you're doing it because of ignorance. Now that you're being informed, there's really no excuse about it. The aggression that is required for you to participate only tells us of your understanding of the battle that we're facing. Numbers mean a lot in today's world. The reason why Cameroon is telling the world normalcy is returning is because they brought in Rene Sadi, who was a technocrat. He had some understanding that Chiruma didn't have. Chiruma, like Chris Arnold, was a noisemaker. A lot of people liked him and they were following Chiruma, but he created more problems for Cameroon that Rene Sadi wouldn't. If you listen to Rene Sadi speak, there are things that he will not even say, or he will not say in a way that can compromise. Immediately Rene Sadi was appointed, the game in the media about the wars in the Cameroon automatically changed. He was strategically appointed. At the time he was appointed, a lot of people protested against the replacement of Chiruma. But the fact is, technicians of France sat down and saw that Chiruma was an empty vessel. He created a lot of problems for Cameroon. He said on TV, which gives us credence in our argument that we are not an Anglophone and there's no Anglophone problem. Chiruma said on TV that every person speaking English in the two Cameroons put together is an Anglophone, and that very soon the entire Cameroon will become Anglophone. So there's no problem in Anglophone. There's nothing like Anglophone problem. And I want to agree with him that there's no Anglophone problem. There's a Southern Cameroon's problem. When did the people of Southern Cameroons become Anglophones? Aijo created the concept of Anglophone and appointed Biya at the time to lead as chef de commission to look into the Anglophone problem. So he decided after 1972 to stop calling us West Cameroon and decided to call us, he changed us from Southern Cameroon to West Cameroon and then decided to now tag us as Anglophone. He called it an Anglophone problem. I tell people, I've argued that he died with the Anglophone problem that he created. There's a Southern Cameroon's problem, and only this platform can sufficiently talk about it. But Sambesia, it's time for you to give your opinion.
Well, I wonder if I have something to say more than what you have said. The only thing I can say more is rather than saying that we should duplicate it, I don't know whether the word is there, we should simply say that we should triplicate or whatever form to make it bigger. And so nobody should doubt the importance of this communication network for this struggle. Modern wars are fought by media. In fact, the media plays a better role than the arms. You don't need a satellite dish to get these connections even back in the bush. You don't need a desktop. You can get this on your phone. And so you can get it on your phone. Our fighters who are largely out of the cities benefit a lot. You see, very often, even on this platform, we have something alert. That alert is not for me and you. You want those boys in the bushes. That danger is at the corner there. And so it just shows the importance of what media is. Cameroon knows the value of media. That's why you can see all these equinox. They control it. You cannot just go on any media in Cameroon because they know the importance of media. People watching Equinox and their numerous radio stations there are very careful what they say because they don't want to say the narrative that is not the government narrative. And since we have only this to sell our cause, to educate our people, to educate our sympathizers, this is absolutely important. I can only hope that with the president stepping in himself with his own two legs, with his mouth, with his own pen and pencil, people will realize the importance of it. If anything, we must retain this network going forward because it is our first arms, it's our first weapon. Forget about the granite we buy there. We buy the granite is important, but this is even more important than the granite because it educates people how to use the granite. It tells them where to run and hide. It tells your parents to escape if they are coming to attack them, and so on and so forth. So we must do everything humanly possible to keep it alive. That's what I would not want to end this segment without going back. So this last segment, I want to mention two things there. We'll talk about this Nigerian thing. Say, if you obtain a judgment from Nigeria, whatever thing they say, release Sako, do this, you cannot take that judgment to Cameroon to enforce it. That's a foreign judgment. The enforcement of foreign judgments is so different. You can't even bring it to the United States here. They will just laugh at you. So those judgments only apply to those countries. They can only help you if we are prosecuting a case. So this degree of harm is being done to us. The court has found this in writing. And so it is not possible that you can take that judgment to ICC and ask them to enforce it now. It's not just possible. Because first, the ICC hardly enforces judgment. If the most enforced judgment, they will require a willing state. If they convict you or indict you there, they will require a willing state to arrest you and bring you to trial. Otherwise, you just walk your crowd, you walk as you want. How many of us have forgotten that they indicted Putin? And I said here that nobody is ever going to arrest Putin. Putin is flying around the world, nobody has ever arrested him. Nigeria cannot take it to the ICC and say, well, help us. Now, that's their court. They should execute their own judgments. First, they can take it there if they wish, because they're a state party. Cameroon is not a state party to the ICC. They cannot take it to the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice does not deal with these criminal things. So, to our colleagues who are in Nigeria doing this thing, their best option, since the matter is not yet finished, I guess, their best option lies in using the judgment of 2002, which Nigeria signed up to take our case to all the international jurisdictions in the world. Once there, we can use that judgment to support what is going to us there, what's happening to us before those courts, wherever they take it. If we take it to the United Nations General Assembly, we can use that very judgment. They say this is what we didn't want to go to. See how they are following us, adopting us. That adoption is a criminal act, and killing us. So that is just what is important there. The next thing which I don't want us to miss is this issue of calling people to go register and vote. And I want to address it essentially because we showed the religious authorities involved. I had said this in the last week, and I want it to be emphasized if they didn't get it. It is absolutely wrong for any religious authority, call it an imam, a pastor, a bishop, a priest, to just go participate in elections without addressing the root causes of the problem. To just lay down our arms and go to the DDR without asking why people even first carry arms. Because religiously, they are talking about God. God forgives you only when you confess your sins. You must acknowledge your wrongdoing. That's when you expect forgiveness to come. The Christian faith that you're showing the picture of the Archbishop right there, the Catholic Church, for example, they believe in confessions and forgiveness. You have to go to confess to a priest or to a bishop or whoever. But you have to walk there and confess with your two legs that I did wrong, I did this, I did this. Or you must walk back to the person that you wronged and acknowledge your wrongdoing. I think there's a place in the Bible which says that if you bring your gift to the altar, and at the altar you discover that you have something to do with your neighbor, leave your gift there, go back home and reconcile with your neighbor first. Otherwise, God will not accept your offerings when you bring it to the altar. So to all these religious groups, the best message you want to, we're not against the election. If they want to do elections, that's fine for them. We're not asking them to do elections over there. But if you want Anglophones, what you call them, what you call us, who say we're ambassadors, to ever be any part of it, you must tell them that the Bible, Allah, says that you have to address the root causes of this problem and let the chips fall where they belong. Whoever wronged the other would confess, would acknowledge his or her wrongdoing. And in this, our own case, the roadmap has been laid. Put the conference table without preconditions, address the root causes. I will move on. How we move on is for us. And so that is the message I have for the religious organizations, from the imams to the pastors to the bishops and beyond. That is the message I delivered this week. And I want it to be emphasized that whoever is using the religious podium to preach this nonsense must have one information for them. We're not taking part in anything concerning Cameroon. We're not putting anything with them until they go to the conference table, address the root causes of the problem. If we wrong them, we'll apologize to them. If they wrong us, they will apologize to us. And thereafter, we'll map a way forward going from there. We'll either go our ways, we'll pay them damages if it is unknowledgeable, or vice versa. And so that's the message which I delivered this week, which I think that those who did not watch.
And this education that you're giving like this, I must say that it is very important, because those who might not be so informed like we're doing on this platform may be flattered by this whole illusion. You have said something which Barrister Fru said, and I'm sure he wants to comment again. You said something Barrister Fru said in agreement, and what you said there was, whatever is agreed there is not even a judgment that can be respected in Cameroon. But I want to ask a tricky question. I want to ask a tricky question in addition to what you want to add. Are we saying that international jurisdiction cannot take something that has been agreed by law, forward it to a higher institution, and have it enforced in Cameroon?
I will not say that. Let me respond, Mr. Ambassador. Can I? Listen to me first. Listen to me. I did not say in my presentation, I did not say that the International Court of Justice will force that judgment to be executed. No. I said Nigerian government should have sued Cameroon in the International Court of Justice on the principle of non-refoulement that Cameroon violated.
Why do you think that the Nigerian government, being cognizant of this, is not doing? But we've seen them collaborate with Cameroon after that.
because of the collaboration and geopolitical setting that Nigeria and Cameroon are presently on, instituted by the Buhari and Biya. If Nigerian government remained the Nigerian government that we knew before, Nigerian government would have sued. I wasn't asking that they should execute that judgment that we obtained in the Abuja High Court, because the ICJ, and it's in the ICJ, not ICC, in the ICJ, not in the ICC. You sued, it involves two countries, Nigeria and Cameroon. And Nigeria would have taken that matter and sued Cameroon, and that judgment will become evidence. Okay? But it is not going to execute. It is different from, let me finish now. It is different from executing a judgment. No. No court, no international court will execute a judgment that is obtained in another country. But I'm saying that if Nigerian government was minded to protect to protect that violation of an international convention, the principle of non-refoulement, they would have sued Cameroon in the international court to send back those people because they were not supposed to have them.
Okay.
And let me also add that Cameroon was the one that sent an aircraft. It went into Nigeria and picked up those people. It was not a Nigerian aircraft.
And that's where I've been trying to get you. Please, I'm talking to all those who are watching us. The Zoom link is open. This program ends in a few minutes. But before I get to you, Barrister Mbesi, I want to finish up this with Barrister Fro, because this is where we're concluding. Barrister Fro, you seem to be you are a legal advisor, not seem to be. You're a legal advisor to this government. And there is clearly the law of non-refoulement. That's something I have personally read a lot. Provides Nigeria with a good case.
Yes.
It is clear also that this same Nigeria that allow a military plane to land in their airport, and Nigeria assisted, because Cameroonian military could not have been working in Nigeria exclusively. This was a heavy sponsored mission, not just between Nigeria and Cameroon. We are suspecting that France was actively involved, because France has asked for a release, but has ignored the release of Sako. But this is my question, please. I want you to take my question first. My question is there any instrument available for the Ambazonian government right now that will oblige Nigeria to do what is right?
No. You've asked the question. You've asked the question, but let me say no. No, because we are not yet a sovereign nation. We are not members of the United Nations. We are not a country yet. And therefore, the ICJ or the ICC only treats with countries, from one state to the other. And of course, certain war laws like crime against humanity and so on and so forth. In this particular case, there is nothing we as the Southern Cameroon's government in exile, there's nothing we can do to execute that judgment. All I'm saying, if Nigeria remained the Nigerian that was before Buhari, Nigeria, after the judgment was issued at the Abuja High Court and was never appealed, Nigeria would have sued Cameroon to bring back those people. And the only forum is the ICJ, because it's a conflict involving two countries. Nigeria could not shoot down a Cameroon military plane landing in Nigeria. That would be their case. That they landed illegally in Nigeria and collected people illegally. Nigeria is a society where you can populate.
Barrister Fro, I would argue as I hand the mic to Ambazonia, that Nigeria does not have a case if they are trying to say that Cameroon landed illegally and took people out illegally, because that would mean an assault, an insult as well of their sovereignty, number one. What they don't realize is they are saying, because it is right for Ambazonia to say that Nigeria conspired and actually put our people on a plane into Yaoundé, because
let me tell you, no, Paddy, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. A general in Nigeria, the head of the Secret Service in Nigeria, was the one who took the bribe from Rene Sadi and Atanganji to do that operation in the absence of Buhari. Buhari was not in the country at the time. And therefore, Nigeria can argue, listen to me now, listen to me first now. Nigeria can argue that a sting operation took place in the absence of the chief executive, who did not order it, and that took place. And Nigeria will be out of it. And Nigeria will ask Cameroon, turn back those people, because the principle of non-refoulement was violated. You are telling me that the only way to solve it is diplomacy. It cannot be.
I understand as a lawyer who's trying to lobby Nigeria to see if something. I'm going to give you the mic now, but let me make this comment. I understand that as a lawyer, probably it's a diplomatic approach. You're trying to lobby Nigeria to see if Nigeria can correct their crime. I understand the statements you're making, but Nigeria is not the kind of democracy or the kind of country where a general can unilaterally use the Abuja International Airport to carry such an operation without the...
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Let's say that for same purposes, but I will argue that tomorrow. Barrister Ambazonia, please.
Paddy, I think not being a lawyer, are you getting me?
I can hear you, please.
I think, Paddy, not being a lawyer, you are perfectly right. You remember at the introduction, I said we even made a mistake to say Cameroon came and adopted people from Naran. I said that. Why? Yeah. Because Cameroon could not just come with their planes and enter.
I didn't say that. I've never said that.
I'm not.
I understand. I understand.
I'm saying what I said. I'm not saying you said it. I said here earlier in this very program that Cameroon could not, in any form or shape, bring their planes, land in Nigeria, take their soldiers, wear their security guys, go to Naran Hotel, and capture people and take to Cameroon without the involvement of the Nigerian authorities. Whether Buhari was there or not, his director or his whatever were there, they represented the government of Nigeria. Second point, why it cannot work that way, is that the judgment Barrister Sako is mentioning about, there are two defendants there. The defendants in that judgment include the government of Nigeria. There are words given in terms of money, and the orders given, bring back the people, are against the government of Nigeria and the government of Cameroon. Nigeria being a defendant cannot go and say, well, this is the case they entered against me. ICJ take it and hold you and execute it for me. Practically, legally impossible, because they are already defendants in the case by themselves. They are parties to the suit. Let them execute what they can, and then the rest will know what to do. But legally, as I've said, it is almost impossible for Nigeria to be a plaintiff using that very case, because they are defendants. Because they did not need, if they are saying what Barrister Sako states, the Nigerian government did not need a court order from a Nigerian court to inform them that a foreign country Cameroon. But let me finish now, my brother. You want to talk, I didn't talk. They did not need an order of the court to tell them that Nigeria and Cameroon trespassed into their own territory and adopted people in Naran. If they were saying that that was an invasion, which the ICJ would rightly handle, they would have taken that action independently. They would not have needed a court in Nigeria to declare that this refoulement or whatever thing was wrong. Again and again, Nigeria is a party, is a defendant in that suit in the Nigerian court. It's which are trying to enforce. Fast forward to the question you asked, Paddy. Does it mean that Cameroon can always go free, or there's a way to enforce this their judgment? There's a way to enforce judgments against Cameroon or any other party who violates international law. If Cameroon, which I'm sure they are, and Nigeria broke the law, the international statute, which talks about refoulement, there's a way to take action against them by a member state of the to the treaty to say that, look, this to complain back to the treaty or enforcement authority that these people have violated this law, and action will be taken. The action that they will take at that level is not to ask them to go and catch these people and bring them to prison. I've said that's impossible. There are sanctions that the international community can take against any country for violating treaties to which you have signed up to. They can be suspended. So many different actions can be taken against them. But there's none of those actions that will say they want to bring back people who are in jail. Because you don't have the power to go to any country in the world, open their jails, and bring out people that have been jailed there illegally. There are so many illegal judgments around the world. The people just jail people they don't like. And so that's it. And then it will take me to say to where I started. All what is going on is political posture.
I hope we have enough time.
Well, where you're talking, I didn't talk. You want me to stop. But this is the point. It's political
I mean, we cannot listen throughout.
I cannot agree any with the fact that.
No, listen, Paddy, listen. Let me make just one statement. Let me make just one statement before Tambeka continues, because it is getting late. The one statement I want to make is that the only way is not for a signatory to that treaty. There is, if you read that treaty, if there's a conflict that involves two countries, that one of the countries can make a presentation to the ICJ. Read that treaty to the end and see the execution process.
And I agree with you.
There are two ways. But Sambesa has given us one. One is that a member country can force the execution of that of the principle of that violation of the Trilateral Treaty with member country. Number two countries, the countries involved can one of them or all of them can come before the ICJ for a resolution of that conflict.
I don't want to go into that.
Conclude a little bit. Let's make progress.
When Sancho was talking, I said nothing. This debate will make sense if you let me finish. This debate makes sense. Well, let me finish my point, and I let you finish yours. This is the point.
I will not talk again. I will not talk again.
Now, what you're saying is just wrong. Because as of now, there is no conflict between Cameroon and Nigeria. Nigeria has not complained anywhere that Cameroon broke its airspace, that Cameroon trespassed into its country. So they have no conflict for the ICJ to resolve. A conflict is not made because...
Then that judgment would never be executed, like any other judgment.
That's why I'm telling you that particular judgment is unenforceable. I've said this 1,000 times over. Because Cameroon is not going to enforce it. Nigeria, which is a party to the suit as a defendant, they are not enforcing it. And I've just tried to show how we can use it. Whether we like it or not, that's the law. Because Nigeria did not need an Abuja court. The Nigerian government, the federal government, did not need an Abuja court to tell them that Cameroon had trespassed in the country. They did not need that.
Yeah. See, there is some sense. But by Stambesia, just so that we can conclude this, I want to agree with you on something. At one time, I was watching a senator in the Cross River State that was bashing at the Nigerian government. And this senator said something, that it is an insult to the nation of Nigeria to allow Cameroon army, Bia's army, indiscriminately enter into Nigeria and exercise power. And this is where your argument is very strong, and I think I encourage it. It's only on ABC Amba TV you find this kind of conversation at this time. Everybody's talking in the peripheries. We get into the core of it. I agree with the fact that Nigeria cannot be removed from the hook of this crime. Nigeria actively participated. When the situation happened, the Nigerian government did not collaborate with international instruments. Even the UNHCR was having difficulty to talk to these prisoners. It took a long time before Ambazonians met with their own citizens that were in an underground cell in Nigeria. Is it Cameroon that built that underground cell? These are some very critical questions. We need to be facing it. These guys were there. Remember the time President Sako was under Sec for Foreign Affairs. He came live a couple of times, asking the Nigerian government, asking Christian organizations, and told them, you can't allow this to happen. It was a shock to the people of Ambazonia that we heard. I was in Yaoundé on the day that my younger brother told me these people are in Yaoundé. I denied. Because he was
Paddy, listen. Those people from the 5th to the 26th of January, they were in detention, but they never appeared before magistrates. They never appeared even in court. They never went anywhere. They were just done. That all what was done without the intervention of the judicial system. How then can you now prove? How then now can you now prove that Nigeria was actively involved?
Because they were in a Nigerian constructed facility of confinement. That is enough.
Yeah, yes, I understand that. 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 Nigeria and Cameroon. Nigeria has a better case than Cameroon because Cameroon they flew in with their aircraft and collected the people. Nigeria can refute the fact, but they cannot refuse a judicial intervention. If those people have gone to court in Nigeria and then a court issued a judgment that they should be deported, Nigeria would have been involved.
I can tell
but all we are saying is what we perceive that took place. We perceive that took place, but there is no documentation, no detention warrant, nothing. They just allowed Cameroon. Cameroon came in with their aircraft and carried the people away.
And that allowance that was given to Cameroon is where Nigeria is actively implicated. Because Nigeria should, I want to conclude. Barrister, please. Nigeria should have immediately activated war with Cameroon for invading their territory. That they didn't do it, meant that they conspired. That is an easy. That's what I would have to say.
I am on television. When I finish, I'll call you.
I'm just trying to say something concerning what you said. What I was trying to say is this. You might have seen a Nigerian senator from Calabar, wherever, saying what he said. They are right to say that. You sit in the United States here. Have you seen how often American senators, congressmen insult President Biden in Congress? They do all that. That is part of their political debate. But at the end of the day, I had said here when we started that the only person who can enforce the Nigerian judgment of 2002 is not even Parliament. It's not Senate. It is the executive. When they insult Mr. Biden, for example, for a broken border, what do they expect Biden to do? To enforce the border at all? Congress is not going to enforce those things. They never do it. Again.
Thank you very much. Barrister Mbesia, we're going to continue this conversation next week. I need to hand over. No, please. We're going to continue the conversation next week. I need to hand over the microphone to those who are organizing, and then the president will need to address this a community of Amba warriors anytime soon. We want to appreciate all those who have been participating in this exceptional program. It is an educative one. We think that Nigeria is to be blamed. Cameroon is just the mastermind of the crime. We also think that for Nigeria to have disrespected their national sovereignty to this extent, there should have been an external force. And we will not be wrong to think that France had a hand in it. For us to assume that only criminal elements within the Nigerian system were bribed, it is a terrible fallacy, and it's difficult for anybody to agree with that. I want to remind you on something. President Sako has warned every person, every individual, any group, traditional group or individual. The president has warned that elections must not, for no reason should elections take place in Ambazonia. And if you're caught participating either as a proxy or an organizer by any shape or form, either with your costume or with a registration card, if you're caught participating, you will face the wrath of the Ambazonian State Army. So be wise and be warned. And the president concluded that statement, which I want to bring it back to you, by saying that a word to a wise is sufficient. The nation of Ambazonia has organized no elections, has no political parties on the ground, and therefore anyone who decides to participate in the elections in Cameroon for any reason, you are saying that you're fighting the state of Ambazonia, and that is considered in law as treason. And Barrister Mbesi has said, we will not judge you or jail you in any court. We will simply neutralize you. Thank you for being a part of this show. Until next time.
Fellow Ambazonians, fellow Southern Cameroonians, and especially our Ambazonia State Army, Ambazonia State Armed Forces. This message now for all week. I want to make you not forget anything where they talk for this message for you. Make you not forget one line for what we are talking. Because we get the following thing the way, if any man do one for inside Ambazonia from today is a crime. That one a total punishment where that person must get. Matter of fact, the community will decide whether a capital punishment or na which kind of punishment, but na crime. That means if you do any of these things, then from this day forward, you are a criminal according to the law of Ambazonia, and they will deal with you appropriately. That means according to number one, for be a member of any political party inside Ambazonia, unless the political party where now the government of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, give them authorization to operate. And to the best of my knowledge, we never accredit, we never authorize, we never give legal paperwork for any political party for operate inside Ambazonia. So for you for belong to a political party where it be authorized by the colonial genocidal government is a crime in Ambazonia. Whether not they call it a CPP, whether they call it a LDP, whether they call it a CPDM or a SDF, for you for belong because na colonial party than that, because they be authorized by the colonial government. For you for belong to any political party authorized by the colonial government, you commit a crime of treason. Number two, to support a political party inside Ambazonia is also a crime. The crime of association. That means that you don't associate yourself with criminals, therefore you are a criminal. Number three, all election matters inside Ambazonia na capital crime for Ambazonia. Na crime. Na number one bad for inside Ambazonia where it be na treason, because that means that for register for vote for Ambazonia, anybody where they carry a card where they call and say voters card or register for vote, that person na criminal. In name na criminal for inside Ambazonia. You are a criminal. If they search you, they see any any voter's card, let me say you are a criminal. Criminal number 1, committing the crime, what they call and say treason for inside Ambazonia. Let me say number 4, to organize a political campaign. Some man call you say, man, would you organize? Man, will carry this team, one go make buy higher tent for here and so on. One go make political campaign because the one can make campaign. It's a crime in Ambazonia. And to attend the political rally inside house or outside, you will dress for go attend. You are a criminal. Why they pay you now 1,000 francs, 500 for campaign for attend? Whether it be wear uniform or not be wear uniform, or for you for go attend any political campaign, you be a criminal by association. And also for you for register, say you want stand election, maybe you want be candidate. The moment you give your name for inside to the colonial government of La Republique, say you want be a candidate for a political party, we go run for that election, we organized by La Republique. You are a criminal. If your name just day for that list, you are a criminal. You commit the crime of treason inside Ambazonia. You will share political poster. They want check your phone, you share them, you put someone them for your motor, you gum someone them for road, you throw someone them for road. If they catch you, where you share political poster them or t-shirt them, just say you share them, you are a criminal inside Ambazonia. You be a criminal. To be part of any political convoy, they come, you say you want drive go for matters them for go, or you want drive go follow them for road for bring them. You be part of a convoy. They go, you follow them on motor. Why they give you now poop funga for your motor, they say may you carry them. Maybe you follow them as a convoy or follow them come back. Or they hire on a motorbike. They say may on a big convoy when I go for part of the campaign. To be part of any political campaign convoy, whether na by motor basically or na by taxi them or na motor them, is a crime in Ambazonia from today. I want make we understand say we get 2 countries, 2 governments. Yes, just like if you carry a political campaign for La Republique, carry and go for Ghana, and you drive all over the place where the Ghana government no authorize you. Now so too it dey for inside Ambazonia. La Republique, they no can't bring their political affairs inside Ambazonia. No, and the one office where we don't already wipe out, they again for inside Ambazonia. If we catch you, you call yourself say you be part of that office, you are a criminal number 1. That means say elecam or that people the way they say that they organize election. Every elecam official, every elecam office, every elecam bureau in Ambazonia is a crime office. It's a criminal office. It's a place where criminals gather to commit crime against the state. That place no need for exist again for throughout Ambazonia. And anybody will go present himself anywhere as somebody where they can organize election, that person is criminal number 1. AS wanna make sure say if you get way for enter, you no get way for come out. We don't ban the activities of Elekam. We don't ban the activities of their workers. We don't ban their presence inside Ambazonia. From now, this month of April 2024 to December 2025, anybody will go against this rule, this law them for inside Ambazonia, well, the Ambazonian people, they go show you who own the land. And make no talk say you be my brother, so you go break the law, you be alright. No talk say me and you be go for the same school, so you go break the law, or you be my neighbor, or be my countryman, or you did talk English like me. Therefore, you don't break the law, no bad. When it happen for you, you say no, we follow our own people them, we torment our own people them. No break the law, because punishment is bad now when you punish the innocent. But you don't hear the law today. If you go do this thing then, we don't talk say no electioneering inside Ambazonia. If you do they catch you, that one they call and say torment. They call and say punishment for crime. The word to the wise is enough. If you get a brother, you get a sister, you get a mommy, you get a papa, you get a pikin, where they be involved in any way, in any kind of politics inside Ambazonia, just tell it, say stop committing crimes against Ambazonia and stay safe, because no man will come for you if inside this matter you be innocent. Thank you.
Vice President and Second in Command, Mr. Eric Ate, our able Speaker of the House, Mawini Lobati, all heads of government, county chairs, LGA reps, ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful people of Ambazonia. Yes, I repeat, my beautiful Ambazonian people. Let no one ever make you feel anything less. You are beautifully and wonderfully made by God. You are all welcome. The President has invited you to meet with him today. We apologize for the late starting. As you see, the conversation on ABC was so interesting. The lawyers were not ready to give up, and everybody listening actually did not want it to stop. So we do apologize for starting late. And we also apologize for the short notice of this meeting. The adage goes that when you see a chicken dancing in the middle of the road in broad daylight, you know there is someone or something beating a drum in the bush. The President will tell you why he has called this meeting. But you are all welcome. And we are going to go right into, it's not a day for long speeches, so I'm going to stop right here. I just want to make sure that everybody is welcome and relaxed. And I'm going to now call Pastor Commando to open this meeting with a prayer. Thank you. Pastor Commando, over to you.
Recording in progress.
Pastor Commando? Paddy is his, oh, okay, all right. Oh, could you unmute, please? Paddy, could you make him a co-host so he can unmute?
I think only the Vice President can do that.
Okay, VP, can you unmute Pastor Commando, please, so he can give us an opening prayer?
Why am I making people co-host right now?
Pastor Commando, to give us the opening prayer, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, VP, for unmuting me. Mr. President, the Vice President, ABC, Ambazonia, the Director General, all protocols duly respected. It's an honor to be here to give an opening prayer in the President's court for us to hear him in this forum. Let us pray. I'm very sorry, my picture is dark. It's dark. I just ran out from a church service, and let's pray. Father, we are very grateful that Ambazonia is going on. Ambazonia is pushing on. Ambazonia is going on because in its inception, God was put first. God brought people who did not only profess God, but believe and know God practically and have decided to stand the ground with God. Despite the wind, the torrents, the waves, and everything that the enemy has unleashed to make sure that Ambazonia gives up. We cannot boast of anything that we have done, but we must give you the glory and we must receive the blessing because you have used us up to this point. This is another day that we have come in one of the greatest and fierce weapons that is fighting this war, ABC TV. We are asking, Father, that as we go into the discussion, let us and that people will here and take action as ABC has been taking action in disseminating information that has left Ambazonia. Therefore, we hand this meeting in your hand and we ask you to take over and use every one of us present here to raise your name and to put the flag of Ambazonia flying high. We know year of acceleration has passed and we saw the acceleration. This is year of stability and focus, and definitely it will come to pass. And the desire of the Ambazonian people to be in Boya will be accomplished. Thank you, Father, because we are willing to join hands with you and make sure that we execute this ministry that you have given to us. This is our prayer. Take over the meeting right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Commando. On the agenda, the Director of News was supposed to say something, but Paddy, I think do you have anything else to say? Otherwise, we should just be ready with the national anthem so I can call in the VP right now. Do you have anything to add to what you said earlier about the importance of the media?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right. At this point, then, I'm going to call the Vice President to give us a brief statement about this meeting. And at the end of his statement, he will usher in the President, and the President will finally be ushered by the national anthem from ABC, and then the President will take over the meeting. Thank you. Mr. VP, please.
Yes, Madam Director, I'm very pleased to be here. Unfortunately, I had informed the President that I will be going to one of one of my nephews having a first communion, so I'm in the car driving there. My wife is ahead of me driving, so we're all going there. So I'll be very brief. I don't. No one here is oblivious. No one here is oblivious of the fact that ABC has been instrumental in this revolution. That is our mouthpiece. ABC has informed our population on the ground and those in the diaspora. ABC has informed the international community about our plight and continues to do so. So it is imperative that every Ambazonian knows that they are part of ABC. Because without ABC, we have no mouth. We have no microphone. ABC is our microphone. Whatever we do on WhatsApp forums or on Facebook cannot compare to what ABC has done for this revolution. So I just want to thank everyone who has been supporting ABC. And at this time, because I'm driving, I can't just hold my phone. I will just say, Mr. President, welcome. And Paddy, go ahead and usher in the President. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. VP. Over to you, Paddy. Yes, we did loud and clear. Thank you. Paddy, over to you.
Dear invited, all invited guests, I want to thank you for coming. I just want to have a time with you because you have a special place in my heart. All of you who have adjusted your calendars and your time to be here. Appreciate you. You know, your value in a struggle like ours is determined by the size of your sacrifice. It's determined by the size of the sacrifice, not necessarily how much you have, not necessarily how much you are, but the size of the sacrifice. If I know of any millionaires in this country, they are useless to us if they cannot sacrifice for the stuff. So your value is by the size of the sacrifice. I have seen how you have done it, and you have continued to do it. And when it comes to some moments when I need to talk some serious things with some serious ears, I look around and I say, who can I invite? That is why you are my guest tonight. So thank you for coming. Our struggle is a media-driven struggle. It cannot be compared to the ones we know before. We read, and those we read about the ANC, we read about all the American revolutions and the rest of it. They were not media-driven. Media played its role. You remember, it started all with the media. I mean, this escalation started because of the media. And because our struggle, our endeavor is media-driven, that is why sometimes when we are absent in the media, people begin to ask, has he resigned from the struggle? Start asking whether he has resigned. Are you okay? You okay? Because truly, it is a media-driven revolution. So whatever we do in the media determines the temperature. Whatever is happening in the media directly determines the temperature of everything that's going on. So I want to thank the ABC network team for all the sacrifices they are putting to ensure that our revolutionary wheels continue to turn. Every young man and woman, everyone who's working day and night to make our revolutionary wheels turn. This television, I want to say thank you. You see, like a town crier, if ABC is absent in the city, the voice of authority shall be absent. That's what happens when there is no town crier. People will not know where the voice of authority is coming from. So we need ABC, not like any other media, but it's the official media, like the town crier of the city, of the village. There can be many voices, but when the town crier speaks, say, okay, that is the voice of authority. You cannot mistake it for whatever a neighbor says. There will therefore be an official vacuum if there is no ABC. In terms of a voice, the revolution, on the issues affecting this revolution, there will be a void. I know when there is a void, anyone can feel it. Criminals, hoodlums, manipulators will feel it. So we need to maintain it. If there is no voice, and in that confusion that can exist, we will be like a jungle. Will be like a jungle where crickets cry louder than even the hawks. Have you heard the sound of the hawk? You cannot compare to the sound of the cricket. And if the jungle is that jungle where we don't know whether the cricket is the man or the hawk is the man, it's because there's no voice. Because authority has not been established. It's just like chickens that crow louder than hyenas in that kind of jungle. Everybody is king. That's what I mean. Having an official voice that speaks, where we can differentiate what people say to what we are saying and what we have said, is to have an official voice that speaks to the diplomatic community that they can tune to in their embassies, because every embassy has an information service. They can tune to that. Every embassy can tune to and get our official version where the government of the people of Southern Cameroon stands on the issue. If we don't have that, then if Watana Wata wake up and say something, they have said that. They begin to say, no, it was just, I don't even know who you're talking about. We did not say something like that. They say, no, you people are saying that. You people. Now you cannot tell us you people because we have an official voice. We have to keep it that way. That's what states do. That's what nations do. That's what nations do. You see. Through not ABC only, through all our efforts, including communication on ABC, we have refused La Republic the monopoly to define us like it was throughout the past revolutions, that throughout the past phases, this endeavor, when they had the monopoly to define us. And they thought it was the same because they started playing it again in 2017. Terrorists, terrorists, terrorists. This time around, that word has not even crossed the Mungo Bridge to any other place. So they have not been able to define us. We have been able to define ourselves, tell our story, and be heard. Part of it is communication. Because we have a place to respond. We have a place to respond. And do so, and say, that's our official response. You can go and get it. And not just respond, but amplify our response also. You see, so I cannot overemphasize the role of our official media. I'm not talking of media, I'm talking of official media. That is the voice, the official media is the voice from Ambazonia. The voice from Ambazonia. And the official media is a weapon. Unofficial media is a weapon. It is not like every other media. In every country, there's media and media. But the official media is a media with an agenda. Every country has it. They have an official media. Then they have media. The official media is media with an agenda. The agenda of the nation. So it is agenda driven. That's why if you want to compare our official media with any other media, you might make some mistakes. You just go to the marketplace and compare with them. No. Compare us with every other media. No, they are not. The state media. Go to Russia, there is a state media. Go to Britain, there is BBC. there is a state media. Go to China, there is a state media. Go anywhere around the world, there is a state media. That cannot be compared with the rest of the media. That's media with an agenda. Drive the vision of the government. For us, the revolution. So it's a weapon of warfare. That's why I advise that whenever you have a weapon in your hands, you point it outside, not inside. Point it outside. The official media is a weapon that the state uses, and they use it to point outside. Outside means who? The enemies of the state. That's how you direct your weapons. You start directing a weapon inside, people start scratching their head. Somebody will even grab you by the waist and say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" But something is wrong. Weapons of warfare are meant to face, and I'm sure all the nuclear heads that people have are not facing their capital city. They are facing outside, everywhere that the enemy will be coming from. I'm sure some of them, those who hate America, I'm sure they are pointing their arm towards America. You don't have it and you are pointing, but you are your state house. Say, I have a nuclear weapon. My nuclear weapon is facing my state house. That the people you will sack the next day. That's the truth. Because weapons of warfare are meant for the enemy. You see all these dangerous weapons every nation is building. You go and ask them, why are people building these dangerous weapons? They say potentially some enemies. Enemies might come, we will deal with them. Nobody builds weapons of warfare to kill his own. So we are fighting annexation. Our own. Let me just talk to you from my heart. You know that. Remember that we are fighting annexation. So our trouble is different from any other struggle we might remember of recent memory. Our own is that we are fighting annexation. I say this to come to a point so that I will bring you to the reason why we are here. Our struggle is that we are fighting annexation. We are not fighting for independence. When the people are fighting against annexation, it means that they were independent already. They already have independence, but they have been annexed, overtaken by another. So they are saying, no, 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 leave us alone. That's what we are fighting. And that difference has to be explained always as we go. Every time we have the opportunity. And we have gone a long way. We have done a lot, but we still have a lot to do. That kind of fight we are fighting, in order not to be mistaken, needs constant media, constant education, constant information, and spread of information. Because we're already a nation, already have a government. Now they're seeking the recognition, seeking recognition. As a government, we must look like one. That's why people who say that we don't have to have a television, let's just have a Facebook. Tell me one government in the world that has the only media you can find is on Facebook. You know what Facebook is? Facebook is somebody else's platform you open for free. And that open and close anytime. You can just wake up in the morning for no fault of your own. You go online, they say, "We are sorry, we have blocked you for the next further notice. You have violated our community rule." What will you do if you are the state? So there is no state worst of all the revolution that is struggling to pass its message across all barriers. Now, cannot be a Facebook state media. No. I don't know of any embassy in Yaoundé that wakes up in the morning, because if you go to the embassy, you see all those televisions, especially in the information department. Every chief, every service, they have their television there. They know the favorite programs they need to tune to and so on. I don't see anyone who will say, no, remove that one, let's go to Facebook. Let's see whether some people in Facebook are saying something. Go to any embassy and ask them, whether do you also go to Facebook to hear any official information when things happen? No. They flip the channels. So let's hear also what these people are saying. That's what they will do. Especially now that we have the news, they will flip the channels to hear what are they saying. What are they saying? What's their take on this? So I'm just saying that as a government, as a nation, let's struggle to be one and look like one. That's why we must have certain things and maintain them with the pride of having our own nation. Because we have three assignments. We have our image. If we don't construct our image very well, the enemy will deconstruct us. Our message, our assignment. Those are three things we need to do. Our image is basically in the hands of communication. Communication is used to build the image of nations. Media is used to build the image. They can use media to destroy the image. They can also use media to build the image, the positive, the wonderful image. So we have that to do. We have to use media as much media as possible in order to create and maintain a positive image. Because without a positive image, diplomacy will suffer. Diplomacy will suffer. Because diplomacy is a message. Diplomacy is a message. But if your image is bad, who wants to listen to you? If your image is already, hey, no, who is that? Say, no, wait, no, I'm not interested. If your image is already destroyed, who wants to relate with you? But diplomacy has to do with a relationship with people that you can leverage for your objectives. How are you going to have a relationship with anybody when your image is already completely bastardized by everyone? No. You won't even be heard. The message is zero. You forever talk to yourself. So we need an image, and we need for our message to be communicated to those who matter, to have a relationship. A relationship. That's diplomacy. For diplomacy to thrive, communication must be successful. We succeed well in communication, then we'll have the kind of image that everybody wants to listen to us, want to relate with us. Then that's where diplomacy begins. And then our assignment is liberation. So we cannot just say, we're only liberation. I don't have anything to do with diplomacy. I don't have anything to do with communication. No. If you are only for liberation, then somebody will build another image for you. That image that the person build for you, everybody will reject you. Nobody wants to be your friend. You know what? You fight forever. So those are the three things we must do, and do them strategically and effectively. Otherwise, we will not know where our problem is originating from. Why are we here tonight? Why are we here? You people here, like some who are not here, you're one of the people who have denied yourself a lot. We have denied, we have lost. At this point, if we don't succeed, and God forbid, we have lost the homeland. I mean, we have lost the graves of our forefathers are gone. Amongst you and I here, so many of us, we know that we have lost the opportunity to go home and be with our loved ones. All we have are just some imaginations, maybe some WhatsApp video, and you see a snapshot of anything that we have lost. We have made, and we did this consciously. We decided on our own, individually, to jump into this ship. Many of you here have lost retirement homes that you really built and took your time. Retirement investment that you built and took your time. I said, this is how life is going to go, and this is how it's going to go. Today we have lost it. Until we get it, we have lost it. Until we take it, we have lost it. What millions of colonial money? We have lost families. Families, by family, I mean that we have lost some of us here. If you are 7 of you in the family, probably only one talks to you. I don't know about you, but I know about me. We have lost family, we have lost friendships, we have lost loved ones, even to the death. We have buried them. The hope of one day, like right now, probably some of us would have retired. You just drive your car and come to my place, and we sit down, we talk, and we go around, we empower our young ones and advise them and count our dates. Every other person in the Americas and in the West who migrated from Africa is looking forward to that day, and we'll have a place to go to. We have lost it until we find it. How can we fail in this assignment? How can any person turn back? How can we lose everything that a man should live for and settle for that? That's why we will fight. That's why we will fight. If a man has, if you have taken away everything a man should live for, then you have given him the assignment to fight to death if he must live. That is where we are. That's where you are. I came to remind us, lest we forget. Because you jumped into it, that passion. Passion drove you here. And I don't hire you. Nobody hired you. Nobody pushed you. One day, in 2016, I was doing my things and my everything that a man does, preaching, teaching on the television, on Facebook, having my motivational talks. And then this thing started. I took off for 2 weeks and I went to pray. Myself that should I just continue doing my thing while this one is going on? Or I should do something. For 2 weeks, I was conflicted. I had a choice. You had a choice to either continue your things like some others or face this evil that is happening in your time and say, you know what? While I am here, I will do what I have to do to right this wrong and stop this nonsense. I will put in my all. I will do something about it. So I made a choice and I came back and said, what would Jesus do? What would a good man do in a time like this? To side with the oppressed or stay silent? I made a choice. I jumped in. So nobody recruited me, just like you. That is why you are very valuable. I don't care, you can make mistakes, but if you have not dropped the plow, if you have not abandoned the plow, I still think you have great value. Because this fight that we are still fighting is the number one reason why we came together. If it is not over, it's not over. Every other thing can wait. Every other thing can be attended anyhow. But this fight must be won because this is all we have, and it has been taken away from us. We must fight. It's an assignment given to this generation. If we were in the Americas, in the days of the revolution, probably they would call us names, maybe abolitionists, and people are fighting. If we were in South Africa, it would have been the Mandela generation. If we were in the days of 1960s, before 60s, then probably they will call us those who fought against slavery, fought against colonialism. Every generation has a history. Every nation has a history of a certain generation to whom the mandate was to stand for something, to stand for themselves, and stand for beyond their own generation for the rest of their nation. It has fallen on you and I, and you have said yes. You are the creme de la creme of this assignment. Out of 8 million people, you are the creme de la creme for this assignment to be accomplished. And so ABC is just our voice. We are struggling to maintain that voice so that it should be heard. You know, when a person is talking, every day you pass around, you hear noise in the house, and you hear the voice of the Father. The next day you pass, you hear the noise, and you hear the voice of the Father. If you start passing through that place, and 1 week you don't hear, you hear some noise, you don't hear the voice of the Father. In our normal community life, way of existence, you will knock that door. Hello, are you okay? Is everything fine here? I've not heard the voice. Is he fine? Is he all right? Because that's the thing. This voice cannot quench. Are there many things that we need to do? Yes. But this voice must not go up air. It must not diminish. We are only struggling to increase it. You see? Let me tell you some of the things we have done and some of the things we are going to do. We are working on an application that will be able to bring ABC in the hands of every person, including our haters. They can simply go there, download the application, and we can broadcast directly to their pockets anytime, anywhere. One, it helps us and it makes it easier for people because sometimes the social media has blocked us We have suffered a lot. They keep on taking our platforms because there are those who reach by satellite on the ground. There are those who also reach by social media. They keep blocking us, keep blocking here and blocking here, fighting against us. Then nobody fights you when you can put in your when you have your own application that they can just take and then they follow up everything. You have broken that limitation. All this means that we have to invest money that we don't have because this thing must go forward. Can you imagine if everybody that is of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia descent, that is of has any interest in this struggle, anywhere they may be found, they can just download the app in their phone and they can go anytime, because this time around for about 2 years now, Facebook is not sending me notification for anything. In those days, when somebody is going on air, when we started this thing in 2017, when somebody goes on air, you receive notification. These guys are on air, go, go, go. And then I'll just click on the notification, I join the live. Now they don't send anything. You have to think over your head and say, okay, maybe I should go there and find out if there's something going on. That's what it is now. I don't know whether they're doing that only to us or that's what they do now. But imagine how much we have bypassed when we are able to say, you know what, everybody should have this, and you have it. If I know that it's at any time I want to go to my phone, I just go to the app and then I'm right there and seeing what is going on. So these are the things that behind the scene we have been struggling to do with some of the generous contributions you have made. We have even stretched our hand outside the box to make this happen. And also, we want to make sure that we target some audiences for our diplomacy to go forward. As I said, communication goes ahead and diplomacy follows. We want to make sure that the Francophones Africa begin to know our story the way some of the English world have known our story. Who goes first? Media. We want to make sure that the fruitful ground of the Portuguese that are now listening to us in great numbers, we can also have a canon targeting them constantly. We want to make sure that our people who rely pidgin English, who keep the revolution alive from the ground, also have a channel targeting them. I mean, these are strategic communities in our struggle for us to achieve our goal. All that is being put in place involves money. So, then we have challenges. The challenges are diplomacy is asking for its own attention, which is right. Liberation is asking for its own resources through the draft and so on. It is right. But communication, which is supposed to go ahead, which is supposed to be ahead, paving the way, creating the positive environment and the image for us, also needs our attention. Now, who do I find to even talk to, except those who have shown the willingness to bear the burden? Yes, this is what it is. You have shown the willingness to bear the burden. And so before my back will break, I will say, please, can we carry it a little further, please? while we put things in order. I know there are many things that some people can say they are not going well in ABC. Yes, but whatever is not going on well calls for a fix, not for abandonment. And I can tell you that right now, I've decided to transfer part of my office in ABC to make sure that I see through every fix that is necessary within the House. So that should not be any reason why you withhold any of your contributions tonight. Because I've told you that I'm not going to delegate it. I'm even expecting a report now to come to my table. I'm monitoring it. I make sure that I will do everything that it takes. One, keep ABC solvent, sustainable, and dynamic. If there are major decisions that will be taken, I can promise you I am in the process of making such decisions. So you can know that ABC is here to stay. What we are only going to see next is the new faces and the new dimensions of ABC. As I said, to make it be able to compete against all that are standing against us, against big tech that is trying to bring us, hold us down like Facebook and the rest, against other media outfits that are all around again against us and trying to say, trying to drive the enemy's narrative. So we'll have one versus all. And I want to assure you that that's what I want to do. So whatever you are thinking, which is not the subject of my discussion right now, it's right here on my table, and I'm dealing with it personally. And it is going to be even better for ABC in the days ahead. You know, one snapshot I will just give you right now is that we are going to set up the Ambazonia Media Regulatory Board, which is going to regulate a lot of things. Media, I said Media Regulatory Board. That Media Regulatory Board, will do a lot of things. It will not just regulate ABC, it will regulate media. We want to elevate Twitter to a media house. We want to elevate our activists who have been the backbone of this struggle to part of our official media or pro-government media. We have to make sure that we have a body that can be able to relate with them and help to guide their operations. That was able to help us to come with certain media policies in place. So that is with the Ambazonia Media Regulatory Board. We are going to design it all together and send it to the House of Assembly for adoption. I will attend their sitting because they will sit about twice a year. Except they have extraordinary sessions, I will sit in those sessions. to ensure that we handle this. We handle the media very seriously because that is the backbone that has carried us to this point. We want to have it right. So the decisions that we make in the media regulatory board will be implemented by the Department of Communication first of all. So they will be there to execute. That's why we're just going to meet twice a year to make sure that we iron out certain things and make sure that our policy directives are clear and and our media outfits are performing. They are going in the right direction. So everything concerning the budget of our television is being handled right now. And I believe that I will soon go through the final lines of the proposal of the decision, the final decision on the budget. So we want a very efficient budget that will also give us scope for not just for sustainability, but also for expansion. So all that will be looked into. Everything concerning the numbers in ABC will be looked into personally. So I called you here to say that we have run very fast in our endeavor as a media. We have, you see sometimes you see international conferences trying to reiterate this and so on. And even at a certain point now, there is even instances where our diplomacy has had to carry out joint projects with communication. So all these have stretched us. And I came to, this is not a draft. We are not drafting, as people say, draft. Everybody will say draft. Tomorrow somebody will call me, that me too, I want to draft. This is not a draft. I sent invitations to you people whom I carefully identified because of your sacrifice. It's not good to say. We need some push right now so that the next time I call for you will be that we want to launch a app that has come out. So then we'll now be able to explain to you what new capabilities this app brings into the struggle, for the whole struggle. So we have stretched to do a lot of things to make them happen, despite our no real fundraiser that we did out there for the whole of Amazonia. So we need your help. So I called you. So let me call my own people. Let me start with myself. I think Mr. VP already stretched his hand and did his own contribution yesterday. So today, not because we don't have the draft, not because we don't have our edges in our account. Just because who do I turn to if there are things that we must do? And we have to do them. And we need someone. We need to cross this bridge. We need to make sure that we don't stop here. We need to make sure that that good thing that we're trying to achieve from Barcelona, we indeed achieve it. And we go one step further. Oh, I tend to, even in the middle of difficulties, only tend to those who have shown the willingness to sacrifice, to sacrifice. So So myself and my wife will be doing something tonight. I think $300 to help in this regard. I'm also counting on you to do something and let ABC get what can sustain them for the next 2 months so that we can be able to accomplish some very big things that I'll be able to present to us. And I think that in that moment, we'll now chart a more permanent strategy to make sure that we solve the problems of communication by elimination. I like to solve problems by elimination. To know that I believe that if in 2 months time we accomplish the thing that we need to accomplish, we'll be able to solve the problem of ABC by elimination. That means we can I can tell you the next thing we are going to do so that we can put ABC and their communication. We'll just be seeing their missiles going all over the place from RPGs to French to all over the place. But it will not be our immediate, it will not be our collective preoccupation every day so that we can focus on these other branches, such as the diplomacy and the liberation. So that is why I called you here to support us, to support me, and support Ambazonia. Let's finish it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's give yes. Thank you very much. We are now going to go into a question and answer session. If
Let's
anybody has
clap
any
for Mr.
questions for the
President.
president, yes. First, we'll clap for him.
Thank
Then
you
we go
very
to
much,
questions
Mr.
and
President.
answers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Long live our president.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Problem solver. Always.
We appreciate you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
President.
President. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
President.
you.
Thank you, Amber.
Of
Thank you,
Amazonia.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr.
Wisdom of
President.
Amazonia. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr. President.
Brilliant
Wisdom of
initiative.
Amazonia. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Continue to be your
God
friend.
bless you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Thank you.
Courage, Mr.
Thank you.
President. You're
Patriotic salute
breaking
from the
ground.
president.
Gracias.
Make everybody thank him as
Thank
we
you for carrying the Ambazonia
ABC
forward.
Ambassador.
God bless the president.
Okay.
God bless you.
You are
Okay.
God bless you, sir.
God goes with you all through.
Yes. Continue to shower you.
We are behind you, Mr. President.
Thank you, ABC.
We did for your
Oye.
back. Shake no day. No man always did for
Dream
your
of
back, sir.
Amazonia.
Amen.
God goes with
Yes, sir. Yes.
the one who
Thank you.
fought for you wherever you go.
After you, now you. If Papa God keep you fine.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And yeah, ABC and Ambazonia are behind you. We are.
Mindele, do you want to unmute, please?
Paddy, could you coordinate the question and answer, please? Because I cannot do that from here.
So let me just say this. I will answer 4 questions so that we don't turn this into take all our time, but we already started late, and I'm already thinking of where we jump into next. So the first 4 hands that come up, please. The rest, let's just swallow it in the moment and continue as if there will be some time more, another day that will ask our question. So please, that 4. That's the last. We have Magilda, you have Barrister Proof, you have Don, and you have the patients. May God help them to ask all your questions so that there will be no other questions. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Magida, you can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all protocols respected. Hello, Mr. President, Mr. VP, and everybody here. So mine is just a remark that I just feel like what's up. I am very surprised that everything that we have to accomplish with Ambazonia, everybody will go put Mr. President. Does he have to do the work for everybody? To my understanding, there's a Secretary of Communication. Why is he not in charge of this affair? Why are we not delegating unless those who are delegated actually try and do the work? Is there something that he has to be the president all the time? I think that his plate is just so full that we have to come up. We have to start also carrying our own load. If that is the case, there are people who are supposed to be doing this thing. The president can come and assist, maybe attend and see, but not him carrying the load for everything. You want to say diplomacy, Mr. President. You want to say draft, Mr. President. You want to say ABC TV, Mr. President. What are we trying to build here? We have to think about it very well. Oh, by the way, before even going there, I should have said, Mr. President, I follow your remarks and I appreciate everything that you said. I appreciate it, but I needed to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Magilda. No, I know you are my chief security. Everyone, thank you very much. Thank you for taking care. Thank you for looking out. Here's the thing. The truth is that every department has a right to handle its things. But at a certain point, if matters get to a particular point where I need to handle it, then I make an executive decision to get involved directly. So it is one of those clauses that are added to my daily tasks. But when this happens, the only problem is that it should not happen all the time. There are things that what I'm trying to do now is what I should do. Probably do so effectively. So if ABC are taking away my 1 or 2 days, also let it be. If the rest of the 364 days will be wonderful, let it be fine. Because I'm stepping in for very good reasons. I'm stepping into this house for very good reasons that we need at this strategic moment. So that's what it is. So I don't run this, and I think that the people in the house are doing a great job. There are certain major decisions that only I can take, and I have to drive this thing for a while. Then everything will be well. So that's where we are right now. That's why you see me at the center. That's why even the invitation reads my invitation. So thank you. Next. Yes, my patient. Since this, I'm also the moderator now. My patient, you are next.
I thought I was next.
Okay, I don't know the order, so that's why.
Okay, can I?
Yeah, proceed.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, thank you very much for this invitation and for the presentation you have just made. It's very timely. I want to ask whether we have a plan to add a radio to ABC Amber TV, because each time I talk to one of my uncles, he asked me, we will not get TV. We feel hear all that thing we want to talk for radio. it just breaks my heart that he wants to know, but he has no means of knowing. So a radio added to our media program may help a lot of villagers, a lot of people in the rural areas who are still attached to the radio. An FM radio station attached to the television. I know we don't have money. I know we are looking for money, but can we have that as a project? And talking about money, I'm going to be donating $100 today for this project. I just need the thing to be put so that I can sell it in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Concerning the
Thank you.
radio,
Thank you.
when we look back, when we look at our people back, because in the diaspora, there are not many radios. I've not seen a radio since I came to America. So I've never even seen a radio set. Back home, I don't know how many radio sets do exist more than mobile phones. I think that the most important thing these people have now are mobile phones. So I was thinking that if the application, that's why I'm very excited with the application. When the app, if people can just download an app in their phone, and from that, by that app, they are already connected, they might hear more from us than radio stations, radio broadcast. I don't know, except in taxis, I don't know how many radios, and in taxis, people are even scared if we'll be the one broadcasting. I don't know how many taxis in Ambazonia will be bold enough to put their station on Ambazonia while driving people around. So the ordinary person, they have their television and they have their phone. They have their, I don't know, maybe I'm just left behind.
I was looking at the villages setting in the rural areas. They don't.
What would they most likely have? A phone or a radio, which they can take everywhere. So that's why I'm thinking that the phone solution, this thing we're trying to do, might just be the answer. It's just that they are not used to it, we'll teach them what to do. So so thank you very much for the support. Let's go on. The patience.
Magilda.
No, Magida has been here.
Oh no, that's my patience, sorry.
Thank you so much. Let me step out to a place that I can speak freely. I am at work. Thank you, Mr. President. I really appreciate everyone who is here today to listen to you. And I am particularly passionate about ABC. Some people may not know this, but when I joined this quest, this journey to Boya, one of my first appearances was on STBC in those days where we had STBC, and I went there to appeal to people why they should support my trip to Boya. In fact, the other day I went back to look at the show. It was my first time doing anything of this nature. And I went back to look at it, and I saw the number of views. And then I'm saying, what happened to SCBC now? I don't see them doing anything these days. And we know that, as you've rightly said, ABC Amba TV is the voice of the government. And I just want people to just reflect for 1 minute. What happens if you don't have ABC for one day? Let's just think about it, that the television is shut down for one day. Then let's push it down, push it for 1 week. there's no ABC. I'm asking this question. I don't need answers. I just want you people to think about the repercussions. What happens? And then for 1 month, there's no ABC. I think the answer, if everybody is being truthful to themselves, is that the line of communication between us and the people at the home front will be severed, and our quest will simply die. That's what I believe. Because if we don't have that communication, talking about what is happening with our ASA, talking about different news that come up from our neighboring country and reflecting on it on ABC, if we don't have that constant communication, giving justification to the people why we have to be on course, why we cannot quit, then people will just things will just fade up. They will just give up. They will just settle. You know, people will just settle for what it is, that it's not what we want to, because of all the lives that have gone. So because of that, Mr. President, I know you said this is not a meeting for us to find out solutions, but I'm just trying to put this in people's mind, and maybe you can be the one to really push it. Because of this, I really think that we have the federal draft. I think that ABC should be considered at that level of a draft. And what I mean by that is that if those who cannot draft $1,000 for ABC eventually put in their mind that they should subscribe at a minimum of $50. We want sustainability. We want ABC to be sustained. We don't want to come back every 2 months, 3 months to do fundraising for emergency. We just want it to be there nonstop. So, Mr. President, I'm just appealing that maybe when you think about this, come up with your Mr. Common Sense. You have ways to come up with ways that every Ambazonian who really believes in our cause will know that they have to give something for ABC. And with that said, I'm going to give my own little thing today, knowing that I will draft for ABC eventually, but just for today's initiative, my husband and I will give $300. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mapi.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's great. So before I call another person who was not in the original numbering, let me hear from our friend Don, even if it was just to greet us, because I've not heard your voice for a long time. So I saw your hand up, so that's why I'm calling.
Patrick, salute, Mr. President. You're right. It was indeed to greet, but I wanted to stress that I know Mike Gilder and others had concern as to why the president is always there at the center, pushing every objective. One, because the revolution. Two, because, of course, by virtue of our culture and traditional setup, we all know that the chief is always there. Whether it's for community level, as little as that, or rallying around the people for any subject or activity, he's always there. He leads. The president is only doing the utmost as a leader. And we thank all those who have been walking around. I also want to say that let us not get this thing wrong. SCBC and others are not there. What is left fighting for Ambazonia is Ambazonia. What you see today, Comrade President Samuel Sako, himself fully represented or delegated by any other person, it is Ambazonia left fighting for Ambazonia. The global order is shaping. The drums of war are beating from Middle East to even North America as we speak. We don't know what will become of the Sahel as NATO and others are trying to see how they can cage them. By extension, right down to us. My people, every Ambazonian, what is left now is our voices, our pocket doing the same job. Our frequency will never be higher than BBC or CNN and any other in the global template. But the tectonic forces of Ambazonia will be me and you in the ground in whatever way we can make the representation happen. The fight has not been a fight for yesterday only or a fight for today. It must be the push of our lifetime, the life we live every day. I was to say that at the very beginning, it was not supposed to be a question and answering session. But of course, we also want to talk to the president and let him feel our voices and be re-engineered and know that, hey, everybody is still there. We are there in our very respective shape and forms, and we still support the movement as we supported it before. Mr. President, I do not falter. Ambazonia, this has always been the tendency of our people. It is true, it always comes down to the hands and shoulders of very few, and the few have always delivered. There's no shaking about that. I haven't been caught up for some time, and of course, I know that all of you would be very brotherly enough to excuse my absence for some time. My mother died 2 years ago. I was to keep a low profile and not make that any incident that would trouble anyone. The poor woman has been buried without causing any distraction. And I am slowly catching up and getting back to the media, but the fight has never left my doorstep. It has been the fight from the shadow right to the light post. So we all are there. Let me not take much of your time because we are talking about money. You see, I don't want to disrespect the president by going more than 300, but he will understand that because I also have many children. Please, let me make a token of 500 right now. If my number is there, send me the little coordinates so that I can push the money. I know that this kind of disrespect, the president would weather it with an rather smile. So thank you very much, Mr. President. We're still there. Patrick Sarut.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. The president is just doing this like the foundation, and the walls and the roof has to be powerful too. So you are free to give even $1,000. Yes, please. We are all in here. We are free to give even $1,000. So thank you very much. So please, can someone send the Zoom the payment link to
I'm in touch with Don Wanabi. Don Wanabi, this is Dr. Tada for the record. You
Hello,
saw the thing from me. I'm in touch with you. Don't worry.
I just sailed in $100,
to him now.
and I had ABC Broadcasting Corporation on my Zelle, so I just sent it through, and I've sent it, and I've sent a copy of the receipt to ABC Club something.
Oh, okay. So even though
What you have on the phone on WhatsApp now.
Okay,
Who
thank
is
you.
speaking?
Thank
We want
you.
to know the name, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the record, VP and the second lady, they sent in $300 to support the day. $300 to ABC Amber TV. VP and the second lady. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, VP.
So yes, I just wanted to thank our friend Don. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do despite
Have you seen the receipt? I Zelle in $100.
Yes, I did.
We have seen it. Please.
I did see it. Thank you very much, Barrister.
Thank you, Barrister.
I saw it. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
yes, I just want to thank my friend Don for your very generous support, for your kind words and of encouragement, and I'll just be glad that you're back again in the fore. You have come back from the period of absence that we all felt. That we need you now more than ever before, because this thing must be accomplished by all means possible. This is all we are. That's why we are here. So thank you. But I would have just drawn the curtain here. Yeah, I look at my friend Nee Bernard. I know that you are from somewhere to be here. So I don't want to not give you that opportunity. So you'll be the last person to ask, and then let's do our thing and go. So I'll give you, I call you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the honor to break the protocol. At least you needed just 4, and I'm the 5th. Thank you so much. All protocol respected. I've come in because some of us have been in this thing since 2019. I've not failed any month paying my dues. Yesterday, I already paid my dues for April, but for the meeting of today, I'm going to add $50 to it. And what provoked me to come in is Barrister Furu's question. It's a very pertinent question. And this is something I started discussing with Secretary Chris when it was still ABC, but at a real moment, it died somewhere, but we started with the Paddy. It is I understand the media very well. It is very, very possible because people, the radio waves go further than TV. And it can be handy even when you're in the forest, no matter where. We're working on it. Please, when you leave from here today, if you go to your phone, go to Google and download. You have Radio Garden. Radio Garden. That Radio Garden, you open it. Even just put Cameroon, put Bamenda. You get all the radio stations in Bamenda that are registered. We are discussing with the Paddy. Paddy may throw more light that to study how we can incorporate ABC into it, because no matter where you are, even on your Choronko phone, you have that app. You just when you have the app, you go in, put any country, go to a particular zone. Even here in Maryland, it would give you all the number of the radio station, and you can get their signals. There, you want to get like Radio Nouvelle in Bamenda, you want to get it, now you go and get it. So it is very, very possible, and in the days ahead, immediately everything is stabilized in ABC. We think that it will go on radio. As you rightly said, the radio you can get on your phone, you can get it in your house, and get it everywhere. Because with the TV, we need heavier data, and people will complain their data back home. But I think ABC is working to get to that. But they have, for now, I think the challenges that have are major. Immediately as go through those challenges, we'll get to a point where we'll study how those stations got into that app, that Radio Garden, and ABC surely will be on it, or it may even have its own independent app for radio. Thank you, Mr. President. That's just the input I wanted to bring that, to tell our people that they should just put things are working in our favor, and that we're going to get a radio station which will send signals further than the TV stations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Niben. Thank you. Did you say you already paid?
No, he said he's going to pay $50. Going to add $50.
Yeah, let me announce Masera of SOS Resource Mobilization sent in $100. Her receipt is in my WhatsApp, but she has sent it to ABC. Dr. Tata, take note. Thank you, Masera.
And my patient who has paid.
Mama G sent in $100 through Ma Victorine. Noted.
Okay.
So you guys can take over. I'm not the fundraiser. I just want to send my own. Send you the receipt so that you guys.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and all those who have contributed already. You have set the ball rolling, and Comrade Don has picked it up, setting the pace higher. So all of us here should aim high. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President, for always bringing new things that are always very good, depending on the situation.
Ma Benedicta.
Yes, sir.
I've said I'm setting my annual subscription for $600 to ABC. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Dr. Tata, could you put the payment plan up again, please?
Noted.
My Dorothy's hand is up.
Okay. Ma Dorothy, thank you for coming. I think we need to unmute her.
Paddy, could you make sure she's
Okay, I've been
unmuted, please?
unmuted.
I've unmuted. Okay.
Okay. I was muted again. I just want to thank everybody who has come for us to sustain ABC. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I want to support this drive with $50.
Thank you, Ma Dorothy.
Are you paying today, Ma Dorothy?
Yes, I'm paying right away.
All right.
Thank
you
you
very much. Thank you. And please, we really plead with everyone that is here today. As Mr. President said, I think this is an emergency. We really like everyone to do a payment, pledges, please, for next time when we come to do fundraising, if it must be. So we really solicit cash today. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Ma Ann's hand is up.
Okay, Ma Ann, please. The floor is yours. Okay. Somebody to unmute.
Hi. Hello. Thank you. You too. Hello, House. Greetings
You're
to
welcome, Ma Ann.
yes. Greet Mr. President, to Mr. Vice President, all protocol duly respected. Yes, we've heard the President talk to us. Thank you, Mr. You know, when we are building, we don't complain. We get into the project and see what is wrong, we put it right, and what is right, we keep going with it. So thank you. You know, some of us, we are pledged to be supporting ABC. We know there are some giants who support with 1,000, some 200. Myself, I support with 150 every month. That's my pledge. But for today, I'm supporting ABC with 200. Please disregard the noise behind me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma Ann. Thank you. Have you paid already, Ma?
Dr. Mungwa has also sent in. Okay, when you finish.
Right away, yeah. I'm using my phone, so yeah.
Thank you.
Going to pay.
Thank you. Dr. Mungwa has sent in 250.
Okay.
250, yes. 250.
I have an announcement to make, Ma. Please, will you permit?
Ma Grace Peace has paid in $100.
Ma who?
Grace Peace, Ma Free.
Oh, okay.
She has paid
Thank you.
$100 already. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Moon, I just received a message. Sent via Dr. Fred Lobati. You have he sent it on behalf of Chair George Tabukum, Dr. Winnie Lobati, and himself, Dr. Fred Lobati. The three of them have sent a total of $3,000.
Hey.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow.
What we go do without Dr. Lobati?
Wow.
Okay, the three of them. Who is it? The third person, Paddy?
George, Mr. George Chair.
Okay.
George.
Okay.
Tabukum, Dr. Winnie Lobati, and Dr. Fred Lobati.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Thank you all. And let me
thank
say
you.
this, Dr. Prata, the ABC, the cash app you provided, there was already a cash app on my phone. It was $Amber ABC. But the
That
number
cash
you
app is
have
still
here,
working. We're transitioning.
but
Yeah.
the number we
Wait now.
have here does not have ABC on it, so I was a little concerned.
That number is an official number for ABC. But
Okay,
that
you
other
need to
number
you
is still
need to
working.
label
We're
it as
transitioning.
you need to label it in such a way that when I introduce that number, you come up with ABC so that people don't feel scared that it's going to somewhere else. That label it, the Cash App labels it twice. It gives a certain description to it, and then
Yes.
the number. So that when you put it on, that number, that name should come up. Now it's not coming up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, noted. That 240 number is still working, but we want to phase that because that phone was ABC phone, but our Patriot is having it, so we don't have access to that phone.
Our Patriot.
I think I've stopped the stream. You can just it's with is what Claude had access to. So we didn't have a lot of money in